We should be going on both. Did y'all freeze?
I'm here. I'm
Okay.
here.
Hmm.
I think
I
Kirk
froze
froze.
naturally.
Kirk did.
Yeah, he may have. Or else he's very still.
He's in sloth mode.
How's he getting what's on his screen back there to stay frozen that long? If that's the case.
That's the real impressive thing. Let's see. Let's go.
Hey, Bobo, how's it going?
Hey, Bobo.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not Francisco. I don't have anything for being first. You get no achievements from me.
There we are.
No, I think I had a bad internet connection. I lost everybody.
I'm watching the live also at the same time. That's what I was
Nice.
bringing.
Very nice.
So, hi guys, this is
Hello.
Drew,
This is Jacob.
and we are going to be reviewing Muppet Treasure Island tonight. Of course, you can see we've got Kirk and Andy here from the Rushmore Show to review it with us.
Mm-hmm.
Bring him down here with me tonight.
What happened to his nose? Oh no, it's there. I couldn't see his nose there for a second.
There. It's there. He hasn't combed his hair in quite a while.
Fair.
Well, it is monster, so.
That's animal.
Animal. I'm sorry, animal.
But animal
I
is a
named
monster.
it so terribly.
Well, an animal's name is fairly generic.
It is. Agreed.
And then I've got Muppet Babies.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Don't let him see that. He hates Muppet Babies.
Muppet
PTSD.
Babies.
Oh,
I love
gosh.
Muppet Babies, man. Come
My
on.
dreams come true.
That show, as a kid, drove me up the wall. I thought it was the stupidest thing in the world. Now, as an
But
adult,
it's got Indiana Jones archive footage in it for some reason.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know.
It's
Well, like, I guess, like, in more of an adult, and like,
It
How would
it
you
annoyed
find-
you as a kid.
it
is what you've
annoyed me
told
as a kid. It annoyed me as all out.
It feels like a
If
fever
it
dream.
weren't for Muppet Babies, we wouldn't have a pup named Scooby Doo.
What annoyed us?
Like that show.
Mm.
He doesn't like anything Muppet Babies. He was talking about his hatred, deep hatred.
Oh, that's blasphemy.
My childhood hatred of Muppet Babies.
And I had
I like
Deep
Muppet
seated
Babies
trauma.
more than I like Muppets.
Okay, now that
Oh, wow.
is a problem.
Muppet Babies is my
actually be a
favorite.
problem, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah,
I love
Muppet Babies. Muppet Babies would be the George.
Wow.
Now, that being
What's up,
said,
Bobo?
That being said, we do need to bring back Skeeter in some form or fashion.
For sure.
She hadn't been
Absolutely.
in anything outside of Muppet Babies.
Yeah. That's true. It was, I
So,
mean,
quick-
and she's
quick
in
question
the
for
she's
you
in
two
the new
guys.
Muppet Babies.
Yeah, she is in the new one now. Did y'all watch the Batman episodes?
I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a spot to do that. No.
I did.
Oh, look, Kirk did. I didn't.
Awesome.
You guys talk about it, and I'll do my best to pretend like I did.
Well,
Okay.
That's how good I'm gonna be at
I
that.
watched them on my way to practice and on my way back from practice.
So
yeah.
you listen to them.
I'm gonna
I
ask.
watched. I
I'll
watched.
ask ChatGPT to give me a review, and I'll just read it.
I 100% watched them with my son. We watched.
Ah.
I say one is the Joker pretending to be a Looney Tune, and the other one is Catwoman being turned into a literal Catwoman.
Mm-hmm.
She becomes a
Pretending
furry.
to be a loony. I mean, he did that at the end. But okay.
There's a couple of Looney Tunes references throughout the thing that
True.
he makes.
Even that's all, folks. He did that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just on this deep dive figuring out why Skeeter was never on.
That's
They never
always
have
been
a.
my
They don't
question.
have a puppet of Skeeter because it's only been Muppet Babies.
Yeah, she was not even in the live action part during Great Muppet Caper.
Yeah. Wow. Justice for Skeeter. We need more Skeeter representation. And
Indeed. She did appear in like a Muppets comic book at like in the Muppet Theater at one point. I do know that. But I didn't
Yeah.
even know there was a Muppets comic book till a couple years ago.
Have you seen the graphic novel, the gritty remake of it?
I have
No,
not.
I'm
I don't
just
feel I want to.
You get the real backstory of Swedish Chef. It's pretty dark.
Is
Okie
he
dokie.
the Swedish barber of Fleet Street?
He lost
Swedish-
his parents in a horrible accident.
Swedish
and it's-
Todd?
He's Swedish Todd.
That's pretty good. Swedish Todd.
really
That was quick.
There was some wit behind that one. I like
Uh-huh.
that a lot.
He can be witty every once in a while.
I try.
Okie dokie. He's one of my favorite Muppets. We said that.
He's the
in
only
our
one that's
conversation.
officially married that we've never seen his spouse. And the only reason we know he's married is because his human hand does have a wedding ring on it, because that's who the Muppet performer doing it. It's his actual hand, and he was wearing his wedding ring.
Yeah, his wife is deceased, so you got to watch that. You got to listen to the graphic, not read the graphic
Oh, is
novel.
that what it is?
It's a dark past, man. Yeah, I love Swedish Chef. Swedish Chef
Nice.
is fun.
I like Swedish fish.
Bindi, shindi, bindi, dindi.
Okie dokie.
Artichoke.
And to be honest, but like I did not grow up with Muppets. I did not.
Yeah, I introduced it to him
He
outside of
literally
Muppet
was
Babies.
like in the show.
Anything Jim Henson? Fraggle Rock.
No,
Sesame
no Fraggle
Street?
Rock,
Just Muppet Babies.
Muppet Babies, and I think I saw a little bit of Labyrinth when I was younger.
So no
That was-
Sesame Street?
And I did not find this out till that first Christmas, when I wanted to make sure we reviewed my favorite adaptation of a Christmas Carol, and did Muppet Christmas Carol that first year.
Mhm.
And he tells me during the recording he's not seen any other Muppet things besides Muppet Babies. And
Wow.
I immediately started making sure that those movies were on the list.
Look, this was my graduation present from high school.
Nice.
Is
Oh,
an
wow.
animal tattoo. This was when I was 17. My mom signed off on this.
Wow.
I love Jim Henson and the Muppets.
Yeah, I'd be like, I am a coming of age fan.
I'm glad you're
Be
here
like,
now, though.
no, correction. But the only thing Jim Henson Productions I saw as a kid was Turtles.
That's fair.
So that's the only thing I had a reference to. I knew of, like the Muppets. I knew of them, but I never watched them. But I knew of them.
No Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas?
No,
Not till
this
year.
podcast, because
Last
I
year, year
never-
before last. I think it was year before last.
Wow.
yeah, I think it was the year before last.
Jug Band Christmas. That was on my.
That's Kirk's. It's up there. for Kirk.
Admittedly,
childhood
it,
right there,
it was
bro.
in my blind spot until that episode too, just because it was never on when I was around, for
Yeah.
whatever reason. It was not a family tradition.
There's a fun and forgive me, you guys maybe have mentioned this Easter egg. In Zootopia, Emmett Otter is in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
The
that's right.
otter,
His
the
name is
otter
Emmett
in
Otter.
there is named,
Yeah.
Emmett, and it's supposed to be a little
An
nod
Easter
to
egg,
Jim
nod
Henson.
to it.
So I thought
Well,
I
that was
and,
didn't catch that until we actually did it. It's like Emmett Otter because he's an otter. That makes sense.
Mhm.
And both Inside Out and Inside Out 2 have references to Frank Oz and Jerry Jewell in terms of the guards. They have switched names. Frank Oz plays guard Jerry, and Jerry Jewell plays guard Frank.
really.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right before they go.
I've
into
not
the,
I've not seen
subconscious.
Inside Out 2 yet. I still
Oh,
haven't.
I,
I don't know.
I did watch it. I thought it was good.
Yeah,
Just
I
hasn't made
want
it onto
to.
the show yet.
Hmm.
I want to watch it. I just hasn't made it to my. Now that I'm wanting to watch all the Muppets, I mean, these things just keep getting pushed back and back.
I feel that pain. I have been there a lot in the last.
Do you
couple
guys
of
have a
years.
Cellcast IG?
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
technically got an
Instagram.
Instagram. I don't know how often you post to it, and I still need to get the password so I can post to it,
Hmm.
or at least
we need to work on that. Block some time out and get that done.
at least get you to sign connected into the Facebook.
There it
business
is.
suite, so I can do it that way.
Yeah.
I'm posting and tagging.
Nice, thank you.
You want me to make you a collaborator? I'll do that.
Hey, artsy Steph. I don't know who you are. I do have a cool mom. She's pretty cool. I'm assuming that's the mom you're talking about here, but I think
Artsy Steph has been lately our one of our best audience members.
Yes.
awesome.
She's been in like a lot of, and she's been made a lot of our what do you call those clips that I can then throw up on
Oh, really?
TikTok and such.
Awesome. Well, hello, RC Steph.
All right, so how much longer till we get started?
Probably a minute or two. Oh, by the way, Artsy, you should follow the Rushmore show. Just saying.
We've been on.
I wasn't
their
gonna
show
say
a couple
it.
We've been
times
on
as
their
well.
show a few times and vice versa.
I might be on a future episode.
I was gonna say yours is in nostalgia.
Well, it's me and Marchand. Do you
Oh, okay.
No offense to Nathan Marchand because he'll hear this. Do you want to be on another episode with him?
No, I feel like I am fine as long as we said, hey, we need to get off at this time.
We may have been up late
last
Tuesday
recording
an episode.
Oh my gosh. Nothing against Nate, but Nate just like he starts talking and he's just whoa.
There's not a short episode with Nate.
No, there's not.
No offense to the man.
I think the longest episode is with Nate, I think.
I know my longest podcasting was with Nate, but that was on Power Trip.
Right.
And that was a 5-6 hour episode.
Jeez, when did y'all start?
We did not get off till very late.
Oh, mother.
And it was off of the Japanese version of Power Rangers Turbo.
Oh, wolf.
So, yeah. Anyway.
Yes. All right. So,
just going to do a quick check on D-Lit's levels. Okay, yeah, that looks good. All right. Y'all could hear D-Lit there?
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm just sharing on the Discords and things for you guys.
Fair enough. Let me know when y'all are ready to start, and we'll get going.
I'm ready when you be's ready.
All right.
All right.
Let's. What is that? What is that line from? I was born ready.
Were you now?
Oh, come on. I don't know. We've reviewed the film twice.
I have no doubt, but I'm not.
Smokey and the Bandit.
A, we've only reviewed it once.
Okay, we reviewed it once.
B, I don't remember that line. But either way,
Sally Phil, come on.
I'm sure it's there. It's just not. It's just a fairly generic enough line that didn't register. Anyway.
The Cellcast is recorded in front of a live streaming audience.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who always listens to the little man living in his thumb. Welcome, Jacob.
I'm not sure this is supposed to happen. D-Lick!
She says that's all you. She has done nothing.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no. Click. Bye. Why, thank you. And to introduce our co-host, I thought we were doing Muppet Treasure Planet, not Muppet Treasure Island. Welcome, Drew.
Well, unfortunately, Treasure Planet is a different movie altogether, and it's coming up sometime in the next year. More than likely.
Yes.
So tune in for that. Also joining us tonight on this Muppetational review, we've got Andy from the Rushmore Show.
Waka waka.
And also joining us is Kirk, who I don't have a good pun for. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That I can't. I don't have a voice. Not yet. I was like, dang it! I should have had a voice. Muppet babies. There you go.
I'm out of here. I'm out. Ah!
Jacob's getting triggered over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, tonight we are reviewing Muppet Treasure Island, which for those of you paying attention, we kind of skipped over Muppet Christmas Carol and kind of not, because Muppet Christmas Carol was actually the first Muppet review we actually did.
We did.
And then we jumped all the way back to the Muppet movie and have been slowly working our way back up to here.
For the last 6 years.
And we've already got ideas for the next couple of Muppet films coming up eventually. But yeah. Let's go ahead and jump into the free section of our review then.
Certified fresh and spoiler free.
Kirk, why don't you tell us what your spoiler-free thoughts are on this film?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, and so I leaned in kind of with fresh new eyes. Was really hoping to rewatch it again today. I watched it yesterday and didn't get a chance, but I really just I just like pirates, man. So I was ready to get in. I was like, man, I can't wait to watch this again. And there are some really good things in this show.
Mm-hmm.
But being a Muppet fan, I think Andy is going to have a lot of opinions today. So spoiler free, I think Andy is going to nerd out a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
Andy, why don't you go ahead and nerd out then?
Yeah,
since he has a puppet up there about what.
Yeah, he's right here. He doesn't have a huge part in this movie, but
No,
he's,
you don't.
but he does have a good line in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No politics, no politics.
Yes.
No politics. That would have been a good word.
Yeah, no, I love this movie. This movie is all pure nostalgia for me. What, 96 it came out? So
96.
Mm-hmm.
I was 7. I mean, this is just the perfect time to be into the Muppets and a pirate, a 7-year-old boy watching a pirate adventure movie like this. I remember captivated me as a kid. I watched it again yesterday just in preparation because it's been a while since I've watched it. But I know deep down it's my favorite Muppet movie. When you guys put out, I think you put on like our group chat or whatever for Culture Box, like, hey, here's some movies that we've got coming up. And the second that I saw Muppet Treasure Island, I said, Kirk, I don't care if you're not available. We're jumping on it. At least it's just of course, I want you there, but if it's just me talking about Muppet Treasure Island, then I'm excited for it. But yeah, as much as I love Muppet Christmas Carol, and don't get me wrong, I do. I can only watch Muppet Christmas Carol during Christmas time, right? It is it's niche in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch Muppet Treasure Island any day.
That is true.
And it's great. It's so good. Yeah. This is going to be a fun night for sure.
Indeed.
Agreed.
Jacob, what are your spoiler-free thoughts?
So my spoiler-free thoughts, again, like our audience probably knows, be like, I did not grow up with Muppets. I watched Muppet Babies to my dismay. I think as an adult, I need to go back and rewatch it wherever you can watch the original Muppet Babies.
It's a good question because I don't think it's on Disney.
It's not on Disney Plus.
Not the old original. No.
Not the original, not the OG.
I'm sure there's a lot of rights issues.
Oh, there's a lot of copyright
involved
issues
with that.
But so I remember we were watching. I think it was. What was it? It was you had a 2-pack.
It was the Great Muppet Caper.
That's what Great Muppet Caper. And so I finished watching that, and it was like, oh, it's a double feature: Muppet Treasure Island. I always want to say Island Planet for some reason, but Muppet Treasure Island. And I was like, oh, okay. I started watching that, and I started watching it. And I was like, wow, this is really good. And then I got sidetracked, gave it back to him, and I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it again until this review, and I'm like, this is really good. It's a different departure from what they did originally from like Muppet the Great Caper,
yeah.
Muppet movie.
Yeah, the movie
Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yeah, because this movie it's all based on a set.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything's on a set. Where like the other films are more like in a live action setting for the most part. But I loved the vast majority of this film. I thought it was a fantastic film. And it's worth a watch if you're on Disney Plus. Go watch it. I don't know if it's fairly available to buy, but yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I would highly recommend it.
I know that 2-pack copy I had was one I got from RIP Disney Movie Club back in the day.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, but that's gone now, so I don't know where you can find a copy of it now because I don't know if they've released one recently. Outside of Disney Plus, of course.
Mm-hmm.
This is I'm fairly sincere, like 6th or 7th time I've probably watched this film. For whatever reason, this one was not like on my rewatch list a lot as a kid. I like many of the other classic Muppet films, especially Muppet Movie. I think it's just because I didn't own this one and it was always one I had to rent if I was going to watch it, and it didn't show up on television a lot for some reason. Or at least I didn't catch it on television a lot. But this is actually the second Muppet movie I saw in a theater, because I did watch this in a theater, and I was 11 probably, 10 or 11. And I do remember this one being, at least in my opinion, not as good as Muppet Christmas Carol, but it's still being a fun film. And I will tell you, on this rewatching, I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I think I have in the past. Maybe it's just because the fact that this is probably one of the darker Muppet films made, just because of the whole Treasure Island and pirate aspect of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hey.
Those are my thoughts.
Okay. So just a really quick recap. If you are interested in buying the Muppet Treasure Island, it's available on Amazon, but it's through a third party. And it's going to run you about $45 for a used, very good copy.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yep. Nope.
Perfectly fine on Disney Plus.
Exactly. Perfectly fine on Disney Plus. If you have to have a live action one, I'm sure Half Price Books has it somewhere.
Yeah, probably. You can go hunting.
Indeed.
Which is always the great dive. If you're looking for something, the hunt for something is always the best.
Indeed. Why don't we go ahead and jump into the spoiler-filled section, and we'll get to reviewing this thing. The following is a spoiler-filled review for the film Muppet Treasure Island. Listener discretion is advised. Muppet Treasure Island was directed by Brian Henson, who, along with Muppet Christmas Carol, also directed the Happy Time Murders. I haven't watched this. But I feel I need to find it and watch it.
What is the Happy Time
It's
Murders?
a Jim Henson Studios production of a murder mystery.
Oh, okay.
From what I could tell. It was written by Jerry Jewell, James V. Hart, and Kirk R. Thatcher. And Kirk Thatcher is the one that's in charge of the Muppets at this stage of the game. But y'all all might know him better from Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, where he's the punk rocker that got
that's right.
A Vulcan nerve pinch by Spock on the bus.
I love that film. Love it.
It's a funny moment.
Yes, a very funny moment.
And of course, it's based on Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. Getting into the cast, we've got Steve Whitmire as Kermit the Frog, as Captain Abraham Smollett, Rizzo the Rat as himself and Beaker, and in Labyrinth, he played the character Ambrosius. Frank Oz playing Miss Piggy as Benjamina Gunn, Fozzie Bear as Squire Trelawney, Sam the Eagle as Samuel Arrow, and Animal, and he was also Yoda in Star Wars. I kind of had to use that reference. Dave Goles is the Great Gonzo as himself, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew as Dr. Livesey, Waldorf, Mudwell the Mud Bunny, and Zoot, and in Journey into Imagination with Figment, he's Figment.
Now, is that a movie or the ride?
I kind of couldn't tell. I'm assuming both.
It's probably a ride because there hasn't been a movie.
The ride video, probably.
A ride video, probably. Because there hasn't been like official movie put out for Figment.
Still, that is Dave Goles. That is Gonzo doing that.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Jerry Nelson played Statler, Blind Pew, Mad Monty, Floyd Pepper, Lou Zealand, Tomato, Pirate, Skulls, Trelawney's Butler, and a Screaming Cat. And he played Count Von Count on Sesame Street. Kevin Clash played Bad Polly, Black Dog, Spam, Chicken, Wall-Eyed Pike, Monkey Pirate, Real Old Tom, and he assisted in performing Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, Sam the Eagle, and Animal. But he's most famous for playing Elmo on Sesame Street.
And Splinter.
I hate Elmo.
No, you think?
Elmo! Come on, man.
Elmo can die in a fire.
Hey.
I mean,
More
he has opinions.
Anyway, let's just move on.
Moving right along.
Bill Barretto played Clueless Morgan, Swedish Chef, Pirate, and the Pig Skulls. And in the Happy Time Murders, he plays Phil Phillips, which I think is the puppet. Tim Curry plays Long John Silver. And among his many roles, did you know he played Darth Sidious / Chancellor Palpatine in 10 episodes of Star Wars: The Clone Wars?
Yes,
I just still find that amazing because I couldn't tell it was
Curry.
him.
Tim
He-
Curry is like
Yeah.
the ultimate villain.
He
for
also
those
did
films.
4 episodes of Joker and was never released.
Well, and he actually one of his voice clips does appear in one of those early Batman the
does.
Animated Series as a clown animatronic.
Yep.
Sir Billy Connolly plays Billy Bones, and in the movie Brave, he played Fergus. That was
Oh.
That was the king.
Oh, okay, King Fergus.
Yes. Jennifer Saunders plays Mrs. Blovridge, and in Shrek 2, she played the fairy godmother.
Oh, okay.
And Kevin Bishop played Jim Hawkins, and he, while having a lot of roles, was not in a whole lot I recognized, but he was apparently in his most well known for besides this movie. He was William in something called The Spanish Apartment, which I don't know what that is. Lastly, playing big fat ugly bug face baby Eating O'Brien was Jessica Hamilton, and her only other credit is Young Jackie in Desert Winds. I had to look that one up.
I was
specifically.
hoping you would mention her. My favorite cameo in the whole movie.
It's one of the funniest jokes in the
It's
whole
so
movie.
good. The like 2 seconds of silence when they're staring at her is one of the funniest parts of the whole movie.
Now, granted, that is her acting. It's not the voice. That's somebody else doing the voice, and I couldn't find that information.
He just comes out of nowhere. Here.
Kingdom Hearts connections. How many do y'all think we have?
Say that again?
Kingdom Hearts connections. How many do y'all think we have on this one? It is a Disney movie, technically.
I don't know. I'm gonna say we have 4 connections. I don't know. Are we doing an over under? What are we doing here?
Just a guess.
Gonna go.
The closest.
I'm gonna go 4.5 so that we have to hit an over under on that.
I'm gonna go 9er. Did he say 9er?
9 references.
9.
Wowzers.
Jacob.
2.
In the chat, Artsy Steph guesses 10, and
17.
Bobo guesses 17.
Wow.
I don't know Kingdom Hearts that well, so you guys may be way more onto it than I did.
However, y'all all guess entirely too high because there's a big fat goose egg.
Oh. Way to go.
Absolutely
Way to go,
no
Jacob.
connections.
Way to go, Jacob. You guessed 2.
I got
So, yeah, Jacob's closest,
Woo!
technically.
There we go.
What do we got in info and stuff?
All right, so info and stuff. Clear my throat. All right, IMDb it is a 6.9 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes is a 7.71%, and its audience score is 77. No surprise there.
Mhm.
Production was not surprising. Walt Disney Pictures and Jim Henson Productions. Distribution was Buena Vista Pictures Distribution. It was rated G. Did I say something wrong?
No.
Okay, thank you. It was rated G. Runtime was 99 minutes, or we'll break that down to an hour and 39 minutes. Its release date was February 16th, 1996. Box office. Its estimated budget was $47.3 million. Its opening weekend was $7.9 million on February 18th, 1996. Its domestic gross was $34.3 million, and its international gross was very similar, with a couple of change behind that. So let's get into home release. Muppet Treasure Island was the second Muppet film co-produced and released by Walt Disney Pictures. The following the Muppet Christmas Carol, it was made available on home video format through Walt Disney Home Entertainment, and Jim Henson Video first released the film on VHS on September 10th, 1996. During the initial home video release, it sold an estimated 5 million VHS copies. The The film was re-released as a special edition Blu-ray or DVD, sorry, in Region 1 as of August 8th, 2000. The first DVD re-release in the United States was on June 4th, 2002, with its full screen only version. Other releases of those were in widescreen only format. The DVD was released with a three bonus feature added with hidden treasure commentary, the hidden the tales sorry the tale of the tell the story behind the tale, and Treasure Island sing along, but the menu was simply in widescreen. Walt Disney Home Entertainment re-released the film on DVD again in November 29th, 2005, in conjunction with Kermit the Frog's 50th anniversary celebration. This time, the DVD contained both widescreen and full screen presentations. The film was made available on Blu-ray for the first time on December 10th, 2013, as a part of a two movie two movie bundle with the Great Muppet Caper. Now, I'm curious, what do you? We've started doing this a little more frequently with the show. What the movie ranking in the theater for 1996? What do you think it ranked in the overall ranking in 1996?
For the whole year?
I'm guessing
1996.
8. I'm guessing 8.
Okay.
So for the whole year? Or for that?
Whole year.
96.
I feel like there were some bangers in '96.
That was my senior year, so I was thinking about this. February, I was probably had my senior girlfriend. We were trying to find a date night, and I didn't pick Treasure Island. I could probably tell you that. I'm gonna go
I'm not sure what else came out.
25.
25.
I'm trying to what else was out that year? Like there was a lot that was happening for sure at that time.
Independence
So I think it was
Day, Twister, Mission Impossible.
Well, that puts it at 4 already.
I'm gonna
The
go
Rock.
this ranked
The
down
Rock.
there.
Jerry Maguire,
Yeah.
Ransom, 101
Golly.
Dalmatians, The Nutty Professor,
That's
Birdcage.
Those are the live action.
Yeah, there's a live action. I know. But it's just like-
Birdcage. What a fantastic movie.
25.
25.
I think
Dunstan
it's low.
checks
I think it's
in.
going to be low. I think it was 90s. I think it's going to be somewhere. Are we doing like a top whatever? Does it
No,
matter?
it's
Yeah,
like-
'cause where do you think it fell
Where
on?
do you
I think it
on
was in the
overall?
50s or 60s. I think it was going to be low.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's one of those super nostalgic ones for me. But I think when you think like overall, let's be safe and put it in the 40s. Let's say 42.
Good chips. Good
Yes.
chips.
All right.
Great
so-
choice.
All right. So anybody in the audience? Nope.
Artsy says 20.
RC said 20. Okay.
I missed that one.
Missed that one. Thank you.
I hope
RC
I'm wrong. I hope I'm
Yeah, Artsy
wrong.
says 20.
All right.
But
And Bobo
So-
said 17.
Nice. So I heard one that's like kind of got close, but they're going the top movie for that year was Broken Arrow. It was number 1 in the theaters the entire year. Muppets Treasure Island came in 5th.
oh wow.
Yeah, it was
What?
5th overall.
I guess good on that one.
Yeah, this is from boxofficemojo.com.
All right.
Yeah, so this movie made
Wow.
incredible for
I'm
for
sorry,
that year.
Mr. Bimbo.
This is admittedly as the Muppets were starting to fall off of their popularity, but it was
And that's
still
what I was
pretty high up
thinking.
there.
Like,
Yeah.
how many people were still like, man, we need more Muppets? You know, this was.
Well, I mean, I'm still sitting here thinking, man, we need more
I
good
think
Muppets.
yes. I'm just saying
But I know I'm the
in
outlier.
general. Yeah. It's all those people who hated on Muppet Babies.
As
Got
long as,
that to
as
5.
Elmo and Skeeter are in it. So, yeah.
Elmo.
That means we got to have Muppet Babies and Elmo. I mean, at least 2 least favorite.
Oh,
movies.
I'm just-
believe me, there's an Elmo movie out there.
which somehow is never going to make it on.
Are you sure?
Who do you think owns the spreadsheet?
Oh, I don't know. Be like, I could probably get somebody, my wife, to be like,
Fair
no,
is fair.
you would.
Elmo,
Here's a
Elmo as a
Patreon. Here's $10. But like, we're doing the Elmo movie.
yeah, as a 40-something-year-old, Elmo is a little irritating. But I
Yes,
can tell
I
you,
think
there
Elmo was
is
irritating to
there
me
is
at 11.
as
At
as a
8.
5-year-old, what Elmo is directed to, he's absolutely perfect.
Oh,
So-
what was it? Be like, you sent me a video once where it was this guy, he bought an Elmo doll and then started kind of
He-
set it on fire.
Well, what he did was he bypassed the circuit that changed that where how much electricity it put into it,
Mhm.
and he just kept upping the electricity charge so that it would keep going faster and faster, and then eventually he just
That's
blew up.
hilarious.
Oh, okay.
I
thought
don't
he
think
actually caught the
Elmo.
on fire.
I don't think Elmo makes my top 4 Sesame Street characters.
He definitely doesn't mind. He's like,
I know he
bottom
doesn't
10.
yours, but I'm trying.
Sesame
Like, there's,
Street, he 100% doesn't make it. Top 10, yes.
So granted,
Top
I haven't
4?
paid attention to Sesame
Yeah, I was
Street
just going top 4
since
for
like
us,
the
but
90s. So
Top 4, no, he doesn't make it. There's at least
Oscar, Big Bird, Snuffleupagus,
Cookie Monster, Ground,
Cookie Monster.
Yeah, the Count, Snuffleupagus.
the
Yeah.
Count, Snuffleupagus.
There again,
Big
one of
Bird.
those shows
Mhm.
I didn't watch because we didn't have PBS.
And hey, don't forget this guy, Manamana.
technically did start with Sesame Street first before it went to Muppet Show.
Mm.
Anyway, anything else?
No, that's all I have for info and stuff.
All right, getting into the summary. Jim Hawkins is a young orphan who lives in an inn in England with his best friends Gonzo and Rizzo. Jim listens to Billy Bones' tales about the pirate Captain Bernie Flint, who buried his treasure trove on a remote island and executed his crew so only he could own the island's map. One night, Bones' crewmate Blind Pew arrives, giving Bones the black spot. Just before dying of a heart attack, Bones gives Jim the treasure map and begs him to go after the treasure and keep it safe from pirate hands, especially a one-legged man. Just then, an army of pirates attacks the inn, thus destroying it, but Jim, Gonzo, and Rizzo escape with the map. The trio takes the map to the half-wit Squire Trelawney, who arranges a voyage to find the treasure. The boys are enlisted aboard the Hispaniola as cabin boys, accompanied by Trelawney, Dr. Livesey, and Beaker. The ship is commanded by Captain Abraham Smollett, played by Kermit the Frog, and his overly strict first mate, Mr. Samuel Arrow, played by Sam the Eagle. The boys meet the cook, Long John Silver, the one-legged man whom Bones warned them of, but Jim and Silver become good friends. The ship sets sail, but Smollett is suspicious of the crew, believing them to be of shady character. After Gonzo and Rizzo are kidnapped and tortured by 3 of the crew who have turned out to be pirates, he has the treasure map locked up for safekeeping. It is revealed that Silver and the secret pirates in the crew were part of Flint's crew and want the treasure for themselves. Silver fools Mr. Arrow into leaving the ship to test out a rowboat, says he drowned, and has his minions steal the map during Arrow's memorial service. Jim, Gonzo, and Rizzo discover Silver's treachery and inform Smollett. Arriving at Treasure Island, Smollett orders the entire crew, save the officers, to go ashore, planning to keep himself and non-pirate crew aboard the ship and abandon the pirates on the island. However, his plan falls through when it is discovered that Silver has kidnapped Jim to have leverage against the captain. On the island, Silver invites Jim to join them in the treasure hunt using his late father's compass. When Jim refuses, Silver forcibly takes the compass from him. Smollett, Gonzo, and Rizzo land on the island in an effort to rescue Jim. However, unbeknownst to them, Silver has hidden a squad of pirates aboard the Hispaniola before leaving, and they capture the ship in Smollett's absence. On the island, Smollett and the rest of the landing party are captured by the native tribe of pigs when Smollett reunites with his jilted lover, Benjamina Mina Gunn, played by Miss Piggy, who is surprised, the tribe's queen. The pirates find that the cave in which Flint hid the treasure is empty, leading to a brief mutiny against Silver. Silver reveals that even though he is a pirate, he cares for Jim and allows him to escape. After reprimanding his crew from using a page from the Bible to deliver a death sentence, Silver and his crew capture Smollett and Mina. Smollett is hung from a cliff to fall to his death, joined soon by Mina after she reveals where the treasure is hidden to save his life, only to spit out a kiss from Silver. Jim rescues the friends, and with an alive Mr. Arrow who portrays his own ghost to scare the pirates aboard the ship, the group regains control of the Hispaniola and rescues Smollett and Mina. The group engages the remaining pirates in a sword fight on the beach with Sweetums defecting to Smollett's side until only Silver is left standing. but he surrenders when he finds himself outnumbered. When the pirates are imprisoned, Silver discovers he still has Mr. Arrow's keys and tries to escape with the treasure during the night. Jim confronts him and threatens to give his position away while Silver draws his pistol in a tearful standoff. Neither can bring themselves to follow their threats through, and Jim allows Silver to leave as long as they never cross paths again, much to their disappointment. Silver rows away, but not before returning Jim's compass to him and complimenting his kind heart. However, Mr. Arrow informs Jim and Smollett that the boat Silver used was not seaworthy, and Silver is later stranded on Treasure Island. The crew of the Hispaniola sails away into the sunset, but not before some scuba diving rat tourists, Rizzo brought onto the ship, early recover the treasure from the sea.
My question would be is like, how are these super rats?
It's a Muppet movie. Don't think that hard.
It's kind of hard not to sometimes.
Fair enough. Tim Curry was given a Muppet made in the likeness of him as Long John Silver after shooting was completed. Hormel Foods Corporation, makers of Spam, sued the production company for making the name of the Warthog character Spam. Their suit was defeated on September 22nd, 1995. The judge noted that one might think Hormel would welcome the association with a genuine source of pork. Tim Curry had been a huge fan of the Muppets for years before doing the movie. He had stated in many interviews that he regards Captain Long John Silver as one of his favorite roles. Producer and director Brian Henson was nervous that the whole cast and crew would get motion sick as the ship rolled on the gimbals. He gave everyone seasickness pills for the first day of the shoot, and not only did the cast and crew not get seasick, but they almost fell asleep on the job.
That's funny.
Kevin Bishop went through puberty during the filming, so they had to overdub his singing performances with older recordings of the songs.
Oh gosh, imagine.
Long John Silver offers the captain my very own best brandy laid down by the brothers of Buckfast Abbey. This is a joke often lost on U.S. audiences. Buckfast tonic wine, commonly known merely as Buckfast, is a caffeinated and fortified wine sold in the British Isles. Rather than being a best brandy, it is known for being cheap but highly alcoholic, and therefore often drunk by those who prize getting as drunk as possible for as little money as possible. After the success of the Muppet Christmas Carol, Jim Henson Productions decided to cast Kermit and Friends in another period piece. According to screenwriter Kirk Thatcher, it was a toss-up between a Treasure Island adaptation or a take on King Arthur.
Huh.
Oh,
This is
we
the
need that. We need that.
We do need a Muppets of the Round Table.
Oh, that'd be funny. That'd be funny.
This is the final Muppet movie with its poster illustrated by Drew Struzan, thus ending a tradition for the Muppet movies. And lastly, Sir Billy Connolly took great pride in being the first person to die in a Muppet movie.
Yeah, there you go. It was dark, man. We're in the room with a dead guy.
Yeah,
I love that.
that's what I got for the trivia. So, Andy,
Look at-
sorry, what?
Kermit the Frog and the Holy Grail.
That would be funny.
Yes. Oh my
That
God.
would be Retro Rewind podcast night.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily have to be Monty Python-esque.
Listen, it would be the only way I would like anything remotely Monty Python. So I'm not a Monty Python guy. But if you throw some Muppets in there, now we're talking.
All right.
Now we're talking.
So, Andy, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you're like for the Muppet movie?
Yeah, everything. No, if I had
Okay.
to narrow it down, yeah, there it is. I'm leaving it at that. In all honesty, yeah, everything. I did mention that it is my favorite of the Muppet movies, but if I had to pick the one thing to me that I remember it standing out from when I was a kid, and then in rewatching it, I was like, yeah, I mean, this is just the best part of this movie. It's Tim Curry. It's Tim Curry's acting.
Agreed.
It's Long John Silver. I mean, look, I love the Muppet movies because, again, it's almost predominantly completely Muppets, and you usually got a sprinkling. You know, Bill Connolly's great in this movie too, but like you get those guys in there. We talk about Michael Caine in Muppet Christmas Carol. You just get these like real deal, legitimate actors. It's not just some random, B-lister guy trying to make it big. I mean, we had Tim Curry in this movie, but his acting in this movie is so good. He's acting like it's a like the role of a lifetime. And like you said before, like this is one of the ones that he always would go back to. Is like this is one of my favorite roles. Tim Curry's acting, his singing in this, um, the just the overall character of Long John Silver in this, like how there's the twists and you think he's a good guy at first, but you know all along like there's something kind of shady about this guy.
Well, it's
Um,
Tim Curry.
Exactly.
It's Tim Curry. Yeah,
You
exactly.
don't normally see the man in a good guy role.
True.
Yeah. Even as the
Except in
bellhop
Clue.
in what you call it in Home Alone 2, he's kind of shady. But yeah, I love Tim Curry in this movie, and Tim Curry's one of those actors that, I mean, it proves how great of an act. I mean, he can do a Muppet movie to this level. He can do all of the other great roles that he's a part of to the level that he does, and he's just excellent in this movie. So, Long John Silver, Tim Curry. I did look up the picture of the Muppet that's made of Long John Silver, and it's fantastic too. Yeah.
As much
So,
as I do like Tim Curry as Long John Silver, I did have a funny image in my head of the Swedish chef playing Long John Silver because he's a chef.
Oh gosh.
yeah, Long John Silver's.
That would be interesting. Maybe in a
Beautiful.
skit. More than anything else.
Yeah. But yeah, that's if I had to boil it down to one, like it's Tim Curry.
All right.
Fair.
Kirk, what's your like?
Crushmore, maybe. I mean, look, so if you're coming on our show, Crushmore means we match. And Tim Curry probably is at least a Benjamin on one of my favorite actors of all time. Like he's just really amazing. When it comes down to it, he's so versatile. And I even went and looked up. I said, what is the Rushmore of Tim Curry? What are the top roles ever for Tim Curry, right? And this was number 2 on most of the lists, or 3. Frankenfurter, obviously, which put him on the map, but Pennywise and Wadsworth from Clue were a lot of the ones that were out there. But this is one of his best roles, and I just really love. What Lord of Darkness from Legend.
Oh
Yes.
That was also one of the ones on the list mentioned quite a bit. But
Not
this
to
one's
mention
mentioned
Pollution
at number
from
2 or
Fern
3 in
Gully.
every
Oh,
list I
yes.
saw.
Yes.
What'd you say?
Not, it's not. That's not the name of the character. It's
No.
not Pollution, but
He's the-
basically, it's the spirit of pollution. And
Yeah. But,
yeah.
but
Oh my
Leg-
gosh.
the
Scared
Legend
the crap out
character.
of as a kid.
But anyways, yeah, Tim Curry. It's Tim Curry. And look, I couldn't help but watch, like when Tim Curry was on this. So this is when like Rizzo and Miss Piggy or whoever, like the Muppets are there, or even Billy Connolly, which is awesome. Let me just throw this little tidbit. As a kid, pale blue Scottish person, Billy Connolly did a stand-up, and I had that thing on VHS, and I would watch it over and over and over. He is hilarious. But whenever Curry was on, man, I'm watching like every move. Like I'm just enjoying the fact that he is an actor's actor. Just his makeup was just right. His outfit was right. I mean, like everything about him was just like, gosh, he's such a professional here with these Muppets, and I just enjoy it so much. Long John Silver was for me the George of best things.
Let's not forget his role as Nigel Thornberry with the Wild.
Oh yeah, Wild Thornberry, right?
He
Yeah,
does that.
Nigel Thornberry.
and he was Rooster and Annie.
Clue.
Well, that's Wadsworth.
Yeah,
Butler.
Wadsworth. You said that. That's right.
Yeah. So, man, he's just awesome, man. He's just a great
He had a
actor.
very short role in The Hunt for Red October against
Mhm.
Sean Connery
Mm-hmm.
because he was the Russian political officer.
And also because of this movie,
Bastard.
I went and looked him up, and I was just like, I was very it's like, man, I haven't really, because I love when we do our show, we kind of do some research, and I went and looked him up, and I was like, well, did he ever marry? Did he have kids? All those kind of things, and man, he's not doing so hot. Yeah, I mean,
he's not.
No.
I didn't realize this, but like 14 years ago, when since he had his stroke, like 14, 15 years ago, he's been in a wheelchair, and all he's really done is voice acting since
Mhm.
then. And he's only done some small, well, not small, but he's only really stuck to the singing side on like Broadway and some other places. But mainly, he's just doing his voice acting. So I mean, he's in his late 70s now, but he's in a wheelchair, and never been married, never had kids, that whole thing. And I mean, he's just kind of a cool actor. But there was a funny quote. They said, "Why did you never get married?" And they said, "Nobody ever asked me." So that's what so.
There you
Anyways,
go.
yep, Tim Curry's my number one.
Jacob.
Mine, I'm going to depart from the actor side, but I'm going to go with the overall gorgeous sets of this entire film.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
you have like from before this film, Muppets were primarily shot like in like actual live interactive environments or
Mhm.
whatever. Like this one, it's entirely set based. And I'm just like, I'm
Well,
looking.
Christmas Carol was too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Christmas Carol was too. That's right. That's right. On. Good man. Good man. But
Not trying to break your flow, right?
no. I didn't think about that. But this, like the sets, we go from the Hawkins, the pub where they first go off,
The Admiral Bimbo.
the Admiral Bimbo, be like just how they use the different angles, and it's all be like it's obviously it's a set, but it's just so interactive. Everything is just like gorgeous, like the inside of
Mhm.
the pub, the exterior shots, the ship. Let me gush over this ship for 3 minutes or maybe a minute, but like, oh my gosh, the amount of detail they put into every single, a lot of stinking sets, a lot of sets. And I am just floored by the amount of detail, the amount of care they put into it. Because, like, obviously, it looks like a set. It's supposed to look like a set, but it's so gorgeous. It is such a gorgeous set. I could not stop looking at the set because be like you have Tim Curry and it's like, wow, they're on a very elaborate, very small set.
And he's chewing on it.
He's chewing on every scene he's in. Again, Tim Curry, probably one of the best actors ever come
Yeah.
out. But come out into be it an actor. I'm trying
Mhm.
not to sound something like I'm not trying to say something else. But yeah, the sets. Oh my gosh, so luscious and gorgeous. And I was just in love watching this movie because the sets.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Sets were beautiful. I love the lighting.
Oh yeah, the
Um,
lighting was gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times you see the sunset or it was
That
kinda
opening
like,
scene with yo ho yo, like
Yeah.
that
Oh,
whole
yeah, that
opening
was gorgeous.
scene was so cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Shiver me timbers.
Shiver
Sorry.
my spine.
well, you say that and you say the ship, and you're talking, Shiver Me Timbers. And just a side thing, I'm a pirate fan, man. I love pirates. I put pirates in my book because I just love the pirates and seeing that come to life in puppets. That's just really fun, and they did it so well, like with the lighting. Like you almost feel like whenever I watch these movies, I kind of like, man, I wish I could see it being filmed. Like I
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
not
on
that not
set?
that it would take the magic away from it,
Yeah.
but like now being an older person, I am so like interested to like, can I sit in the studio audience and watch this beautiful thing happen as the people are doing their magic? And
Mhm.
that's something I would love to see. Like, maybe for the ninth film when it's being done.
So my like for this film is the fact that this film somehow manages to balance it being a Muppet film and it being a pirate adventure film,
Yes.
and it knocks that right out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
Including, and I did not realize this till I was looking at the credits, making my notes. You know, Hans Zimmer did the music for this.
Yes.
Yes.
Andy said that.
This is
Yeah.
prototypical Pirates of the Caribbean. In fact, let's just call it Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, which is hilarious
Yes.
because in my book, that's what they're called, pirates.
Pirates, nice.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you wrote a book.
Yeah, I just finished my my rough draft, literally 3 days ago. 4 days.
Nice.
My first rough draft. I need to do a lot of revisions, but yeah, there's pirates.
This is normal when writing a book.
Yes.
But yeah, it's able to hit it's still fun, family friendly stuff like you expect from Muppets. It's you got funny songs, you've got stupid jokes, you've got Kermit the Frog trying his best not to drop Miss Piggy.
Eyes bulging. I love that scene.
Which is
At the
like
same
a
time-
50-year-old joke, right?
Yeah. At the same time, you've got it's still a pirate adventure film. You've got Billy Connolly dies at the beginning of this film. It's the first time that's ever happened in a Muppet movie.
Oh yeah.
You've got new Muppets made for this that are decidedly different than the normal show tune cast that the Muppets have with old Tom, really old Tom, dead Tom, Mad Monty, Angel Marie, and all these really funky looking Muppets that for whatever reason they never made before this. Oh, and don't forget the talking lobster. Polly.
Yeah, I almost put that as my light. Drew is the new Muppets for this. Those pirate ones,
so good.
on the bad side were pretty cool.
And like I said, you've got at the same time, it's balancing both aspects of this, which makes it somehow the darkest Muppet movie. And I am separating out things like Labyrinth and Dark Crystal. I am taking those out for this thing because I'm thinking Muppets themselves. But it's somehow the darkest Muppet movie, and yet it's still a fun, bright. And it's still only rated G, and somebody dies in this film. You've got great moments like when they find the map and Gonzo looks up and says, "We're gonna be rich," and his eyeballs have been changed out for dollar signs, and Rizzo says, "We're gonna be dead," and he's got skull eyes.
Yes.
You've got the fact that Kermit the Frog has a Miss Piggy tattoo on his chest.
Yes.
It's just so it's a great pirate adventure. It's a great Muppet movie, almost at the same level, if not at the same level, and it just works so well. It's two things I don't think normally would go together, but here it does work well.
Yeah, the best part about Muppet movies are those subtle little things like the Miss Piggy tattoo or like the little quips, like little things that Gonzo or Rizzo will say or something that's just, as a kid maybe you don't catch it or whatever, and then you catch it as an adult, those types of things. So, yeah, I totally agree with your like there for sure.
Yeah.
As much as we like this film, we do have to talk about things we didn't like. So, Andy, what's the first thing you didn't like about the film?
I didn't like that it's been 10 years since I've watched it.
That's fair, actually. Fair.
No, and again, I'm going to nitpick because of how much I love this movie. The one thing that when I was thinking about this, I was like, I remember as a kid, this part bothered me. And then rewatching it, it still was like, not my favorite part. It's Hawkins' singing voice, and you nodded to it. There's got to be something better. Like,
well,
I was
it's because he went through puberty, and
right? No, and I get it, but I remember it's supposed to be like I'm supposed to be thinking like this dude's about to go on an adventure. He's gonna become a man, and then it's like, like what in the world are we doing here? I'm nitpicking because I love that song. I still like that song a lot. It's but. I had to pick something that I didn't like about this movie. So there's my, just to oblige the rules of the show.
Fair enough.
There's the thing that I do remember as a kid being like, I feel kind of weird, like singing along to this and trying to, yeah.
You don't have to hit those notes.
Well,
come down an octave.
I could change mine now. because
Were you going to crush more on that too?
no.
Oh, okay.
Um, I was gonna. I could change it because you reminded me that this is a musical, and I hate musicals. But yeah. And which is almost, I mean, it's essentially what a Muppets movie is. But
Mhm.
I'm not gonna go there because I mean, I really don't like musicals, and it's kind of a weird thing to me.
I'm not a musical person
this
either, and I love all the music in this.
But this goes well because I feel it's almost like a Disney movie. Like I don't look at like Frozen musical. Like these are different. They're like
Mhm.
four. I know we're watching it as grown men, but they're for children. They're for kids. They're like for families. It's not like we were joking earlier about what did you call him, the butcher? Not the butcher. What'd you say?
The Swedish Chef,
Yes.
Swedish
That
Todd,
yeah.
Swedish Todd.
See those kind of movies that just I don't jive with. But I'm gonna stick with my guns. Here's the deal. Rizzo's in this. He's fantastic. I love it. And Gonzo and some of the main guys. But for the most part, this is the main cast of the Muppets really has a small part in this. Aside from Kermit and Miss Piggy,
True.
you don't get a lot of Animal. You mentioned it before. You don't get a lot of the band guys. You don't get any of that jazz. And then like Statler, Ralph, Beaker. There's just such small, like there isn't a
May I
lot.
defend Rolf?
Yeah,
for
there's a
second?
reason, and I was gonna
Because
say
no,
that. Yeah,
it's like actually it's a good reason. Of all of this is the second movie made after Jim Henson's death, and of all the Muppet characters he played, it's generally considered that Rolf was the one that was most like him. That's why they kept him silent in this.
Right.
They did at least give him a cameo, but
They give him a line or two, but
he was of the characters. That was the one they felt that was the most best they could solve for Tyre. That wasn't popular.
but
As popular.
looking at the film, if you're a Muppets guy and you're coming in, right, and you're like, oh yeah, I want to go see the Muppets. It's not a whole lot of those main character guys. Like I do love Fozzie's part, especially with the finger and all that jazz.
Mr. Bimbo.
Mr. Bimbo, yeah. But there's just not a whole lot of the other guys, and that's and again I'm nitpicking. I was trying to figure something out, and I was like, what could I possibly think of that's not very good about this? Billy Connolly died too soon. I mean, I don't know. There was just not a whole lot to pick, but maybe seeing some of the other characters getting a little bit more screen time, just because.
Which is crazy because there's a ton of Muppets, like we said before, in this.
It's a whole lot of new Muppets. There's a whole lot of the pirates going on, and like honestly, Rizzo is probably the star in my opinion when it comes to the Muppet side. He's just amazing, and I think it was you. Was it you, Drew, or maybe it was Jacob when we were talking about top 4 Muppets? I think it was you, Jacob. You put Rizzo as like your number 1 or 2, and I was like,
yeah, I didn't post the top 4.
And I was like, oh yeah, I love Rizzo. Rizzo's underrated to me because he's comedy.
I put Rizzo in my top 4.
Yeah.
He's comedy relief. He's so funny every time he opens his mouth. But anyways, nitpicking. What can you find that's not great about this film? Other than, I mean, if you're not a Muppets fan, you could probably blow it away, right? It's like, I hate this. This is stupid. But if you have nostalgia, you love. I mean, nostalgia for me was actually watching the Muppet Show, right? Like back in the day, it was a part of. Yeah, it was a part of nightly, watching, having, the hecklers up at the top, and then you watching the whole thing. So if there's anything, some of the main guys.
Side note about the hecklers, real quick. I know we only do them 1 like, so just a half like here. I love that they're the helm of the ship.
Oh, that was hilarious. That was funny.
That's fun.
You had to get him in there some way.
Just
like
there's some
Swedish Chef in there somehow.
Yeah, it's good, but
I will say this about the lack of Muppet characters: they are limited to a degree by the story. It would have been nice if maybe, I don't know, if Robin played Jim Hawkins. That might have been interesting, but even then, I don't really see that.
I was reading originally Gonzo and Rizzo were supposed
Yeah,
to be the
one
main
was going to be
characters,
Jim
but
and one was going to be Hawkins.
one was Jim and one was Hawkins. Yeah, but then they said it was supposed to be like a boy becoming a man, so it didn't really make sense for Gonzo to be that role.
Right, and the only there's only two characters I can think of in the Muppets that fit that.
So one of the things that I read was
one is Nephew Robin and the other is Bean
Yeah.
Bunny, and they literally punished Bean Bunny for being cute.
It would have been fun if it was
one of the big
what if it
deals
was
about this actually was the fact that it's one of the few films that the human wasn't a puppet. Like it wasn't like he actually was all the way through, the human child, and that's a pretty big deal because Jim played it all the way through, and I mean that's a pretty cool thing. They were growing as kind of thinking broader.
Admittedly, I do agree. Yeah, it might have been fun if they could have found a way to integrate more Muppet characters.
I think Animal would have been a great character as a pirate, though. Like that. Like if he would have been a lot more, especially Animal, and the band guys, because if the band guys would have been great. But those, when you're talking about pirates, those guys would have fit perfectly in there. I mean, they found a way to get Sam Eagle in there. I mean, come on. I
don't know. That was the perfect arrow for Sam the Eagle, in my opinion.
I mean, they figured it out and they did it. It worked. It worked right. So I mean, they could have done it. They could have done
it. Maybe. Jacob,
I would go along with Andy's viewpoint of Hawking's sing-song voice at the very beginning. That threw me for the biggest loop. I'm like, yeah, the exact same thing. It was like, okay, he's going on an adventure to become a man, and it's I understand he's a little kid. I get it. But it just threw me, and understanding like it would have dubbed over.
It would have been nice if they had redubbed it with his voice after puberty, if they could have.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that would have fit the character better.
Yeah. But like understanding like it was dubbed over, be like, and now it makes sense because there was a slight out, like it was slightly out of sync in some cases. And I was like, oh, okay, that's why he was throwing me off. And it's like because I would see him sing and the lip flap wouldn't be exactly correct, be like a microsecond off. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's what's going on. And it's like, and just that like very high pitched singing voice. I was not expecting that, and it just threw me. I was like, okay. That's probably the only dislike I could. And it was literally I wrote it down like what Andy was saying. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So my dislike, and this is definitely a nitpick. During the opening song, when they have the 4 mosquitoes on screen and they're singing a piece of it. So that CG is so horrible. Because it's obviously CG. I'm sitting there going, I have seen the Jim Henson Company do small character inserts like this far better than this. With it still being puppets. You're telling me you couldn't have made 4 little mosquito?
You're talking about the little like dragonfly looking folks?
Yeah, dragonfly. Yeah. I thought of them as mosquitoes, but
I didn't know what they were, but I was like, I noticed that, and I was like, oh, hey.
I mean, and granted, this is still 90s CG. We're not really. It's still crunchy.
Yeah,
they might have been mosquitoes, but I noticed them too.
They're mosquitoes,
I just kind of, like I said, I am very much nitpicking, but I just wish that was a little more. I wish they'd actually just use puppets for that. And kind of as a side dislike, there's at least there's at least a shot instance right before they go into cabin fever, where they're trying to show how the heat is getting to the pirates, and it does the big what do you call that? The manipulation of the thing where it stretches it out wide.
Yeah.
That didn't age well. It's a weird thing to complain about. It's like you could have found a different way to handle that effect, I think, and still work. Like a fisheye lens, I think would have worked better. But I don't know. I'm also nitpicking because it's hard to find things to dislike about this film.
Yeah, to that mosquito point, it is weird thinking about it because it's really, I think, it's only up there for like 3 seconds, right? But that's the only portion of the movie that's done that way.
Yeah, it's the only.
It's like they were like,
CG
oh dang, like we could have even. I mean, I'm cool with like if you would have done Muppets, but if you wouldn't have put that in there, nothing's lost.
Now, Andy, I have a question. You're talking about aging well. Andy, you have girls in your house. Do they enjoy the Muppets?
Zoe watched it with me, so
My
she
my kids
enjoys it.
my kids don't enjoy puppetry in movies. Like I don't know. I don't know if it just didn't age well for them. Like it's one of those like this is old, but they love it at church and things like that.
Mhm.
But I guess
We don't do puppets in church. That's old school.
Yeah, I mean that's
Does
if
this look like Caraway Street to you?
but my kids like it's like hey come watch this. They're like this is old. This is like old.
Now I will say this to the church thing. My kids went to a kids camp a couple years ago, and the speaker there utilized puppets like crazy, and it's one of the things that they talk about still to this day. They're like, "Oh man, I love so and so. They did the puppets and whatever."
Dude,
Love it.
yeah, the puppets at church camp where we'll
Yeah.
be shortly
Yeah.
usually are amazing. Anyways, that's a side note. Like I would love to watch through. You were mentioning watching through. I'd love to watch through all these films with Cannon and his and Carson and whatever. Just don't know that I can staple them down for what is it 8 movies and theatrical releases and 5 TVs. I guess is what I looked up. I think there's a 9th one coming out. I don't know that I could get them down there.
There are
Get
8.
through.
Yeah, there are 8 theatrical films, and if there's a 9th one coming, I don't know about it. I'm not saying it's not out there,
But anyways, yep. Anyways,
The Jason Segel one, the Muppets, is
the
pretty
Muppets.
cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a great one.
That's a really good movie.
I'm looking forward to getting to that one, if for no other reason than that scene.
I
with
haven't
Jack
seen.
Black
I
and,
haven't seen. That.
Yeah,
and, Nirvana.
It's really good. Jason Segel's great too, though. He was
Mhm.
kind of like that mid 2000s guy that was in a lot of things, How I Met Your Mother, and all those things, and then you don't really hear about him anymore.
Then you have Muppets Most Wanted, which I prefer not to talk about.
Well, let's not dig that up.
So that brings us to the end of our review of the film. We've got to rate this. So let's mix it up a little. Kirk, what are you rating this film?
I am going to lean into Retro Rewind podcast and give it a 3.5. Just kidding. Not even close. I'm gonna give it about an 8. I'm gonna give it about an 8.
Okay.
A lot of nostalgia, really good, really well done. Tim Curry bumps it from maybe 6.5 or 7 to an 8. Might even push the boundary over. Is it the best movie ever? No. But is it something that is great? That is lots of nostalgia and family friendly, and even with the darkness. Like this is the darker film. Like it's all just done really well, and it's got lots of laughs and a lot of quips, like a lot of really witty humor that the Muppets always do. I'm gonna drop an 8.
All right, Andy.
So I have to ask a clarifying question on this. Am I rating this on a scale of family / Muppet movies, or just movies in general?
What is the general rating you give the film?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were to score it,
Yeah.
0.5 to
0 to 10, rated to rounded to the nearest point.
So the world ranked it a 7.7.
I don't care about the world.
And I know you love this more, so you've got to rank it higher.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And don't
be
listen
fair.
to Roy there in the chat.
Oh god.
You're really going to go from
Roy's
0 to
here.
3.5. I think I would give this, if I'm trying to be as fair and unbiased as possible. I've said I love it. I mean, animals tattooed on my skin for life, animals behind me in 2 different places. I absolutely love the Muppets. I'm going to give this a 9. I'm going to go 9 out of 10. It is that beautiful. I love this movie. I'm really struggling. I knew I didn't want to give it a 10. Then a 9.5 basically becomes a 10 because I don't give 10s out. So I'm going to go to a 9, right? It's as close to as perfect as I could have it. Picking a dislike was the hardest thing in here. I really don't dislike anything about this movie, but because, there's little things that are like, oh, that's kind of silly. 9 out
Muppets,
of
though, it's
10.
supposed to be kind of silly.
Exactly, and that's my whole point. That's what I'm saying. But there wasn't anything that was atrocious with this movie. There wasn't anything that was like, man, this makes this movie horrible. It's watchable. It is. It's rewatchable. It's everything
I
you
might
want to know.
rewatch it right after this.
Right. So,
Mhm.
like you said, Drew, it's everything you want about a Muppet movie, and essentially everything you want about a pirate movie. I mean, it's somehow they did it so well together that it's going to get a 9 out of 10 for me.
Alrighty,
Nice.
That's about where I figured you'd put it.
Jacob.
Oh, I'm so torn because it's a good movie and like there's nothing really wrong with the film. It's a good loose adaptation from the book. Like
There was
again,
a
the book's
book?
a lot darker.
Mm-hmm.
There was a book?
Treasure Island.
I'm just
Admittedly, I don't remember reading the book as a kid, even though I'm fairly certain I read a child-friendly version.
Probably.
And so I'm actually reading through the book right now. So
Are you?
Yes,
yeah, just
same.
give it a try.
Yeah, give it a shot. Never read it. And I was like, okay, this is cool. So I'm gonna give it a 9. It's a solid film. Be like, again, the sets are gorgeous, just great. Be like the acting's good, the comedy's good. Uh, I don't really see a fault with this thing. Be like, it's a really, really good movie. I can see where like Hawking's sing song voice was annoying, and understand be like it was a dub over because he hit puberty,
Mm-hmm.
which is understandable. And it's okay. That's why I didn't like it so much. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the mess out of this movie. I thought it was a fantastic film, and people need to watch it. Be like, if like, be like you guys showed it to your kids, they weren't interested, but at least the next generation needs to understand that this movie existed at
Mm-hmm.
some point.
Yeah.
Because I
My
guarantee
kids-
some teenager out there is gonna be like,
I
I love this movie.
Yeah.
I guarantee if this was a cartoon, a la Muppet Babies or whatever, if it was just a cartoon, my kids would love it. Just the puppet thing is it. I love puppets. I love Labyrinth. I love Dark Crystal. I love Jim Henson Studio. If you go back and look at one of our first films, our first episodes, we talked about game shows, and one of the game shows I put on there was the Jim Henson game show where they were doing the puppets. That's what gets them. It just feels old and dated, and it's like Dad's dragging them into this. But if it was a cartoon, they'd love it. They would absolutely
Oh
like
yeah.
eat it up to death. It's just it puppets are just a kind of a niche thing. Fraggle Rock, man, I love Fraggle Rock. Holy cow. Forget about that sometimes. But yeah. Who's this rookie of the year guy that keeps talking?
Yeah, you talking about
Hey, Barry's here.
Roy?
Barry in the house.
Oh,
B2,
oh,
welcome
Barry,
to the
Barry.
Cellcast. B2 is one of our friends. Come on over. Yeah.
So
What did you rank it?
So here's a fun little fact. Going into this, when I watched this film as a kid, and the following one, Muppets from Space, this hit at a time when I may have been feeling like I should be growing out of stuff like this. So while I know as a kid I secretly enjoyed it, I think I remembered both this and the next one in a little bit of a negative light. That being said, I absolutely loved the film that watching it this time, and so it was a nice glow up, at least for me. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 9 as well. It was just a fun movie to watch. Is it the greatest Muppet movie?
Yes. Yes. The answer's
I won't
yes.
fight anybody over it. I still think that personally I prefer the Great Muppet Caper, but I mean we're talking about like needing a micrometer to measure the distance between my opinions about these films.
Fair.
They're just all that good. So yeah, I'm giving this one a 9.
Nice.
I love it. Niner.
So if we were ranking the movies, all of them, Muppet Caper probably would be my one. This would be
Real
This
quick,
would be my
Rushmore of Muppet movies.
This would probably be my 2. I really like Muppets in Space as well. I feel like I watched that quite a bit with my oldest child. So that there leans into that. But yeah, I felt like I was given a generous 8, and I'm the low guy, which is awesome. Which is awesome. I love that.
I would go with Great Muppet Caper, probably near the top, with Muppet Christmas Carol right underneath it.
Oh yeah, Muppet Christmas Carol will round out my top 4 for sure.
Right.
Which we did with Retro Rewind podcast,
Nice.
and Andy had it on his mountain.
And I'd probably put The Muppets 2009 as at number 3.
So I haven't seen that one, so I have to.
And at the
clean out
bottom, probably. I want to say Muppet Movie, but I'm gonna have to go with Muppet Steak Manhattan.
Oh yeah, Manhattan. I was trying to think of the other one. That's a good one.
All right. Muppet Treasure Island, and then Very Small Hair go down to Muppet Christmas Carol. That's the 1-2 without a doubt. 3 would be probably The Muppets with Jason Segel. I love that movie. I watch that a ton. And then I'd round it out with Muppets from Space. I love learning Gonzo's story.
Yeah, Gonzo's story.
I still think of him as a whatever, but
yeah, you're not a whatever.
It sounds like I need to have Andy down at least for the Muppets with Jason.
I want anytime you do anything Muppets, I want.
Well, here's the deal. I want to be in one, and I want to watch it. I want to have a reason to watch. So anytime we do Muppets, I'm in. Yeah, I love Muppets.
Well, we'd have to figure out if we could do 5 for Muppets from Space because I feel I have to have Dallas on for that one. But
you can. I will. I will
concede.
I will give that to Dallas for sure.
I can concede too. Hey, so
love
what anything puppets I'm in. So I mean, like over there, I say over there, Retro Rewind is saying Labyrinth. I just love
that was a good one.
Labyrinth's a good movie.
Gosh, it's so good. When you're talking 80s kids movies, it's way up. Way up.
With David Bowie's
and it's dark
Dance.
too.
Oh yeah, Magic Dance.
His Magic Dance. Artsy stuff was actually on that episode when we did that.
Yes, she jumped
Really?
in.
It was kind of a last minute thing at the time.
Yeah, she jumped in. It was like a champ about it. So thank you, RC.
So
Do we
watched
consider
Dark
Team
Crystal
America World Police puppet movie?
Well, we haven't done that one yet, but
We
I kind
probably
of considered Thunderbirds Are Go as a puppet film, and that's Team America is kind of a raunchier version of that. So.
Yeah, I'm out on that one. Andy, you can be in on that one.
No, I don't want to be on that either. Little Shop of Horrors.
Now
we already did Little Shop of Horrors.
That's good.
Just trying to think.
I tell you what, you think of one you want to do, and we'll see if we can work it in sometime in the next year, if that is outside of it being a regular Muppet film.
Let's see. I'm going to pull up the list.
But in the meantime,
let's do it.
Next week, we are going to be watching a musical, so Kirk won't want to watch.
A musical?
Yeah, I told you wrong a second ago what the next one was.
Yeah, I was about to
it's
say.
actually Happy Feet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well,
but
so
you like that because it's cartoon.
Cartoon.
Well, it's
Okay. But yeah, next week we're going to be reviewing Happy Feet, which I haven't seen.
I'm just not like High School the Musical, Grease, that kind of
I'm in the same exact boat as Kirk.
Sound of Music.
A Disney or like a cartoon or an animated something. If it's real people just singing the whole
time. Now, I
time.
do like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and Bedknobs and Broomsticks, but Bedknobs and Broomsticks does have some animation in it. You know? So does Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, I guess. And Mary Poppins.
Has some, yeah. Still hard to believe that's based on an Ian Fleming book.
So, but like when it's just like
James
Sound
Bond.
of Music, I'm out. That's my wife's favorite movie.
I enjoyed Sound of Music, but that's maybe I like musicals. So I was
so
in many musicals in high school.
So no Wicked Part 1?
Or 2, or 10, or 50.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm out.
My wife absolutely loves those.
Now, Wizard of Oz would probably be
in my
the
defense,
goat.
I'm not a Wizard of Oz fan to begin with.
Nah,
so.
true.
Wizard of Oz would probably be number 1 for me, and I'd probably go The Wiz. To be honest, I like The Wiz. Get on down the road. Anyways, we are hijacking this.
No
worries.
That's what this show happens anytime. Be like tangents and run-ons, everything. That's what the show's made of.
On that note, we're going to play some promos and then jump in on our review of Batman.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
This week, we suggest checking out The Rushmore Show.
Hey!
The Rushmore Show is the place for ranking the ultimate top 4 in sports, video games, nostalgia movies, and so much more. Each week, Andy and Kirk spark engaging discussions and friendly debates, making The Rushmore Show your compass in the realm of pop culture rankings. You can find more on their YouTube channel, where it's all about your top 4 and nothing more. The Cellcast would also like to thank the following patrons: Ashley and Roy Ruiz. Francisco, sorry.
Thanks, Roy.
PaulGPowers.com, The Monster Island Film Vault,
Cancel that check.
and Edwin Gonzalez. If you would like to have your name shouted out on the show, some special art from Jacob, uncut episodes, you can donate to us at the $5 level for those, or for an additional $5, i.e. 10, we do have one spot still available for a patron pick. So you can make us review something within reason. So donate your money there over on Patreon. Also, we've got a Redbubble store. Go buy merch. Go buy t-shirts. It's all original art by me and Jacob. So go do that. And also join us on Tuesday nights for me playing game streams and recording Untangling Kingdom Hearts, which is coming back. I've got one episode out and getting ready to put out a second. So do all those things. Speaking of musicals, yeah, I've still got copyright issues with the whole thing there. I've got this.
Just a quick question. I put it in the comments, but is Elmo in Grouchland within reason?
Ho ho ho! Joker's wild. I'd prefer you didn't.
It's a 77 on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, it can't be that bad. It's actually better critic reviewed than it is audience reviewed. So.
Now, see, here's the funny part. If we're being unbiased, and I'm being honest, no, it's not within. It's that is still within reason, because the reason we put the within reason things is there are certain things that Jacob and I have already said no to.
Yeah.
Not on the patron pick, but in general. And so if something comes up and we see it's kind of like that, I mean, there was one patron pick we had to actually do that on because Bobo gave us what looked like VHS garbage. Looked like somebody threw up in a VHS case.
Yeah. I remember watching that one.
I would review it. I have probably seen far worse than Elmo and Grouchland, because the animated Titanic trilogy exists, and so does Leo the Lion.
That is true.
So that's going to be far worse than anything Elmo has ever done. But yeah.
So he's willing to.
I'm willing to. I just know that the fact that you said that just to might get a rise out of me is what it is.
I had to go Google the name of the movie. I remember there was the movie, but I couldn't.
There's like all the rest of the Sesame Street movies besides Follow That Bird are Elmo related.
Yeah.
I looked that up myself.
And you know what? Follow That Bird gave me nightmares, by the way.
That was a funky movie. Agreed.
How did Follow That Bird give you nightmares? I'm now curious.
Thank you for following that up. I wouldn't really call it nightmares. It was just a reoccurring dream. But there was this dream that I had for several months after seeing that movie. of me being on the back of one of those old timey trucks with the like wooden
Okay.
fence type thing, and I
Mhm.
was like hanging on the tailgate, and there would always be those big, like that big furry Muppet monster with the big nose. I can't think of his name.
Snuffleupagus?
No, not an elephant, but the bigger guy. It just looks like a fur ball of
Sweetums?
yeah.
Yeah, Sweetums. That's
Guys
the
like
Muppet
him
movie.
chasing me, right? And then right
Yeah,
when they were about to
jeez.
get to me,
I can see that.
I wake up, and I did that for I don't know years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I tell you what traumatized me as a kid related to Jim Henson?
Sure.
Sesame Street, the Weimaraner dogs with the human hands.
Oh yeah, you've talked about that.
Nightmare fuel.
That's not
Freaked
one I
me.
remember.
Well, it's the
Then I
dogs
only
that are
watched-
cooking, but it's like the dog,
Yeah.
the actual dog's head, but the people's hands.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's like
that's why Swedish Chef is like that.
Yeah, but Swedish Chef is at least a
human.
Muppet with human hands. Like,
Yeah.
but it's a dog that's like whatever. I don't know why. It like even now I just googled it again. It like it flips me out, man. It shouldn't happen.
Fair enough.
Talking about crazy nightmare fuel. Andy, remember when we were at camp and the kid that was he couldn't have a guy wear a mask and the eyes didn't move?
Yeah.
I bet he hates Muppets.
Yeah. He's
Well, I
not
guess some of the Muppets blink, so they make them blink. But apparently, if the
Well, some of them blink.
yeah, but if the mask eyes are stationary, it freaks him out. And so Cannon, my son, had a Jar Jar Binks mask,
Oh
And
no.
and the eyes didn't move. And his mom came over, or the youth leader came over and was like, "Hey, can you guys let me know before you wear that mask over here? We've got a kid that is going to freak out." And yeah, if the eyes don't blink, it freaked him out.
Oh god.
But he ended up wearing the mask by the end of the weekend, so it was kind of cool.
Well, there you go. Anyway, Joker's Wild aired on November 19th, 1992. It's production episode number 41, broadcast episode number 42. It was directed by Boyd Kirkland and written by Paul Dini. In this episode, a man called Cameron Kaiser has opened a casino that he named Joker's Wild and modeled after the criminal mastermind, the Joker. And it caused the wrath of the Clown Prince of Crime, who escaped Arkham Asylum in order to teach Kaiser a lesson. The only two new cast members in this episode are Roger Rose as the TV host and Ernie Hudson as a security guard.
Huh.
So one of the Ghostbusters was in this film, or in this episode. In the original, getting into the trivia, in the original version of this episode, the Joker steals a prop Joker-mobile, and as he drives away, he removes the sign from the windshield, which reads, "Won the Serenal Joker Seal," which was meant to read "Win the original Joker-mobile," but the animators didn't exactly write those words out correctly. This got lost in translation with the Asian animators. The error was corrected when the series was remastered for Blu-ray, as the sign now reads, "Win the original." The Joker breaks the fourth wall through his messages to the viewer, exits stage left, which is definitely a Huckleberry Hound reference, and "Don't try this at home, kids." This, which he does break the fourth wall frequently in the comics, or at least he used to. Shortly after escaping from the guards of Arkham, the Joker says, "What a maroon," which is one of Bugs Bunny's favorite insults. And lastly, when Poison Ivy tells Joker to change the channel, he replies, no, don't wanna," in an imitation of another Looney Tunes character, Beaky Buzzard. He was the model for Concord Condor in Tiny Toon Adventures, which shared much of the same creative team as this series. And I'm skipping the rest of what I've got in trivia because we are going fairly late. Yes, Artsy, it was Snagglepuss, not Huckleberry Hound. I got my Hanna-Barbera characters confused. My apologies. What are y'all's thoughts on this episode?
Andy, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, Andy, what was your thoughts?
My thought was Cameron Kaiser, a greedy casino developer, opens a new resort themed entirely
So
around the
yeah,
Joker,
fun fact,
complete
Andy
with
didn't
giant
get to
grinning
watch these
statues and slot machines.
episodes.
I love what not ChatGPT just told me. Some of the standout moments include Joker trying to sue the casino, the comedic contrast of Batman's stoicism and Joker's chaotic flamboyance. There you go. I didn't watch this. I do love the animated series back in the day, though. I just
So
didn't have
yeah,
time to stream this one. So
we've done cartoons before. This is the Georgia cartoons for me. It's my favorite series ever. It's amazing, and I watched this just a little while ago with my son, and we watched both episodes, and it goes without saying, and I'm sure you guys have mentioned it over and over again, but the voice acting of Mark Hamill is just amazing as the Joker. But that's kind of just a side little nugget because I'm sure that's been mentioned every time you talk about Batman and the Joker. But one of my favorite things about this particular episode is they kind of put the Joker in a different light. Obviously, the Joker's wild. He's not the bad guy. Like he's more reactionary to another bad guy. And if we're talking about some of my favorite things, like is Arkham Asylum like the worst prison ever? Like
Yes.
nobody ever stays in there, and it's talked about quite a bit. Like they are it's like it's Joker's hotel. Like he's just hanging out. All right, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Like he foiled the whole prison with a bucket of water, and I love the joke that he made while he was doing it. It's like, is this some poison or is it something you're gonna slip on? Like he's just so cool. I love the Joker, but seeing him in a different light because he's actually ticked off because this Kaiser guy took his namesake, and Batman's like, "Hey, just let you know, he's foiling you," and he's like, "Nope, not gonna get the best of me," and then he actually kind of helps Batman. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. That's kind of cool to see just a little tidbit, and then of course, boom, the Batman Joker that we all want. Let's see the fight, and that happens. So, yep, that's my favorite. Like, is just seeing the Joker and kind of doing his thing.
The first thing I thought of when I was watching this episode and realized which episode it was, oh look, Joker is suing for copyright infringement again.
Yeah, again.
Looks like he did in the Laughing Fish. But he's got a point at least here because somebody is at least stealing his likeness. They claim it's not him, but let's face it, it's him. They've got people showgirls walking around as Harley Quinn. For crying out loud.
So, okay, I haven't watched the episodes all in a row in a while, but has Harley Quinn been introduced yet?
Yes. She's been in 2 episodes.
Okay, so when my son was asking, he's like, "Dad, so why is Joker hanging out with Poison Ivy and not Harley?" And
because Harley's not in Arkham Asylum right now.
Right. Well, and then he didn't know because we were just watching that episode. We hadn't been watching 42. And anyways, long story short, when she walked by, he's like, "Oh, well, is that her?" And I'm like, honestly, we have to go watch some previous episodes. I don't even know if she's been introduced yet. At this point, I can't remember. So thanks for
It was like maybe 10 episodes ago they introduced Harley for the first time, and she didn't even have a big role in that episode. No. Then she came back for the previous Joker episode.
Yeah.
It was Joker's Favor that she first appeared
Joker's
in,
Favor,
which is also a good episode.
Yes.
And then she came back in another one in a much more henchman-like role. But I'm actually surprised she wasn't in this, to be honest, outside of that callback of the showgirls walking around like her. At the same time, I have to admit, this is an awfully expensive way to get insurance money.
Yes.
After you nearly
did he say
build the
$300 million? Yes, he did.
That's a cheap casino, isn't it?
I mean, well,
considered
maybe 85. I don't know, or whenever this was out. When it's 89, 90.
92.
93.
So, because he didn't even do a good job of plastering over like the wallpaper, because the old wallpaper was still underneath.
Dude, that was kind of. This is what I love about Batman in the animated series is how cheeky it is. Like
Mhm.
it's so like adult, like written and like animated, and like there's so many different, but it still goes back to being a cartoon. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you're
granted,
like,
I could nitpick the episode to death. At the same
oh,
time, this is just such a fun episode. Just because Joker gets to go hog wild, and you're
Mhm.
not even angry that he's doing it.
Yeah.
And they do get a nice, good Joker Batman fight at the end of it. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I see why. I know exactly why the Joker's doing this, and I'm with that right there with Summer Gleason. That would have disgusted me as well to see a
Mhm.
casino propping up this horrible criminal. And I agree with Bruce Wayne. No comment.
Yeah.
And asking about what he thought of it. It's just a good fun episode.
Agreed. It is a very good episode. I do agree with Kirk. The fact that like the villain, like Joker isn't the villain. He is being manipulated by this guy to do this dastardly deed of destroying it for to get the money, to get the insurance money, and it's a breath of fresh air. Not to, like, yeah, Joker is crazy, but at the same time, he's doing it out of reaction for something that someone else did. Or I think what was the one episode where it was like the one guy, he cut the Joker off and the Joker had
Joker's favor.
The exact same thing. Joker's just reacting to something, and this realize the exact same thing because it gives a different view of Joker. Because Joker, most of the time, he's just nutty and crazy and does something crazy
Mm-hmm.
and blows something up for no reason. Or the fish episode, he's, oh my gosh, be like, someone took my face, I'm gonna sue somebody. It's like, really?
Well, no, he was trying to copyright his
Oh,
fish.
he
So
was
he could
trying to
make
copyright
money off of all the fish.
Yeah, which
in
he
Gotham.
poisoned. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's not the way it works, Joker.
You
But-
can't copyright fish. And let's not forget, you killed Captain Clown. I'm sorry, that's still
Yeah.
one of my favorite episodes, even though I know you had you had issues
freaking
with
good.
it.
Agreed. But this was a good, good fun. It gave a slightly different perspective on
Mhm.
things, and I really enjoyed it. It was a really, really good episode.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Next episode, Tiger.
Oh yes.
Production episode 42, broadcast episode number 30. First aired October 30th, 1992, directed by Frank Parr and written by Michael Reeves, Randy Raga, and Sherry Wilderson. In this episode, when the Mad Dr. Emil Dorian kidnaps Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman, Batman tracks her to a remote island. There, he discovers that Selina has been genetically altered to become a Catwoman of a more literal nature, meant as a gift to Dorian's most prized creation, a hulking cat-like beast named Tigress. Dorian pits Batman against Tigress across the island until Tigress finally declares independence, turns against his master, and offers Selina a genuine choice, leading to a poignant finale. In this episode, we've got Joseph Mayer playing Dr. Dorian and Jim Cummings as Tigress. Which, now that I recognize,
it was very
makes
obvious.
very
Jim
obvious. This episode, trivia for this episode, it shares similarities with the books The Island of Dr. Moreau by H.G. Wells and The Most Dangerous Game by Richard Connell. Island Dr. Moreau involves a scientist who splices human DNA with that of animals. Taking its name from the William Blake poem, this episode ends with the poem's opening stanza. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. What immortal hand, something, fearful symmetry. I forgot the end of it. Sorry. While primarily based on Moreau, Dr. Emil Dorian bears a striking resemblance to Dr. Pretorius from Bride of Frankenstein, 1935, and has a very similar role. And lastly, Batman consults with Kirk Langstrom, referring to the formulas that transformed him into the Man-Bat in the very first episode of Batman the Animated Series, On Leather Wings.
Yes.
So, what are our thoughts on this episode? Andy.
Well, in terms of story, it's one of the more gothic, sci-fi heavy episodes, loosely inspired by The Island of Dr. Moreau. It dives into themes of transformation, identity, and monstrous love. It's moody, it's poetic, right? And the episode leans into philosophical territory. The animation is atmospheric. The island and lab settings feel eerie and lush, and Tigress's design is both pathetic and terrifying. Those are my review.
It's like you're reading from a script.
Thank you.
I
Andy.
no, I like the idea of this. It does seem, again, not having watched it, it does seem like a little venture from the norm. I guess from what you're
It's a
used to.
lot
with
more
Batman.
classic sci-fi
It is
than what
very.
you normally get with Batman.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it ventures away from the old Gotham alleyways. It's something that this is just something that I noticed, and I go, man, that happens a lot in Batman. How many skylights get broken in Batman? Like the window guy must be in business because he breaks through the skylight, of course, and with Tigress it was with the ape guy, right?
The
What's
ape
his
guy.
name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goth was his name. Goth, something like that.
I
Anyways,
don't remember.
I
Either
don't
way.
remember.
he was
He
like,
wasn't in my
Goth,
list
bring him
as
down
much.
here, and he took him down. Anyways, Tigress, which is funny, it's Tigrus, like Grus. I had to go look that up. I was thinking Tigress. I was like, that's kind of a feminine name to give such a manly character. But here's the weird. And you may have picked up on it, and you may have missed it. But yeah, Mr. Dorian was trying to get Tigress to mate with
No, I
Cat-
caught that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
with Catwoman, and there was like this moment where Tigress was kind of like catnip. He was like staring at her and like
Oh,
giving
yeah.
her the old wink. Batman was like, "Oh heck no,
No.
I'm done with this foolishness." I thought it was kind of cool. It was pretty. Like when I say pretty, the artwork was cool. I remember like there was like a scene where he's kind of like coming through the swamp, and there was like a not like a swamp. I don't even know what it was, but like the outside scene, and there was like a cat with wings that was like flying off. That gives you this idea of what's kind of going on. And I love this. I originally, when I saw, like right in the beginning, I didn't know what I was leading up for because I couldn't remember the episode. I haven't seen it in so long. When I saw Tigress and I just saw the ears, my son and I were watching, and I said, "Oh, that must be Man Bat." And then later in the scene, Batman's talking to the character that became Man Bat. And he goes, "Oh, this is the same thing that they used to make you Man Bat." And I was like, "Oh, well, there you go." And then my son and I kind of got in a conversation about that. Cool episode, a little off the beaten path. Both of these episodes are kind of different in a way. It shows Batman in a different scene. One of the things is Tigress never comes back. These characters are kind of like a one-off, and which I had to go read up on it because I was like, man, tell me a little bit more about Tigress.
I
And
think
because he was kind of
Tigress
cool.
was an original creation for Batman.
He was
the
kind of a
animated
cool-looking
series.
character. Could have been
He was.
something. I was like, man, I don't ever remember seeing him anymore. He's not really there anymore. So there's that.
The Monkey Man was Garth.
Garth, not Goth. Well, we're
Close.
and Bruce
And-
Wayne.
and-
So
I
man, we
should- I
had
should
Wayne's
have
World in
mentioned-
this one, Andy.
Yeah,
Woo!
Garth and Wayne.
Wayne and
Party
Garth.
on.
I should have mentioned it because he was also voiced by Jim Cummings. So
Oh, that makes sense because it does sound like Jim.
Yeah.
and I'm sitting here going, "Oh, it's Jim Cummings. He's
Kinda cool.
Darkwing Duck. We could have had Catman, but that's
Kinda
Adam
cool.
West in
Yes.
another cartoon. But that's beside.
I
I
will
thought
say
Wayne
this:
was too.
I was kind of disappointed in one thing.
Okay.
Watching it again when they said Selena, I was like, "Oh, it's Catwoman." Originally, when I heard the like in the beginning, there's a woman, right? And I was like, "Oh, this must be, um, one of the characters that's going to be turning into this tiger." And when they go, "Oh, Selena," I was like, "Oh, it's Catwoman." I immediately thought that this cat was going to be a black cat, and the cat
Right.
is
Makes sense.
kind of like a calico cat or a
I think
know,
it's
orange-
supposed. I think it's supposed to
like
match
an orange
her
tiger
blonde
cat, right?
hair.
That makes sense.
So
And I was
think
kinda
that's
like,
why they went with the more yellowish color. Is 'cause it's
man, I
blonde.
think Selena is probably more of a black cat, but yeah, Selena does have blonde hair in the cartoon, so
Yeah,
maybe there.
that may
Anyways,
be why they went that way.
small thing that I looked at, I was like, it's kind of weird seeing like Selena Kyle as Garfield. I mean, that's kind of what she looked like, the character.
She absolutely hates Mondays.
I
She
did
hates
like
money, but she
how
loves
even-
lasagna.
I thought it was interesting that she had a V-neck as a cat. If you
Yes.
notice.
Yeah, that too.
Got a
Like,
V-neck.
like there was kind of some weird something going on here that.
Yeah.
So
Like,
it was
you
almost
can't-
as
you're
if.
trying to make this character modest while they are technically naked.
Yeah, I picked up on that
Furry.
too.
Gotta
It's like,
get past
okay.
the censors somehow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's gonna have a fur top on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what that is.
Yeah, totally. First off. I be like,
yeah.
I really enjoyed this episode because it does again, it does have this island Dr. Moreau
Mhm.
experiment with outside of nature and
Which I haven't
disrupting
seen that
nature
yet.
and being a trying to control nature in that way. Um it's like again, it's kind of departure from like the norm of what Batman the Animated Series does, just like the previous episode we reviewed.
Yeah, because Heart of Steel was also a very classic sci-fi.
Yes, very, very
story.
classic. Yes, agreed. I love last week's episode was so good.
Mhm.
This was also very good. I love that like Batman was like he wasn't the center point, obviously. It was more the island and like Tigress and Catwoman and the dynamic of how Tigress thinks be like because he's a cat, he has more of a natural instinct. He's not a human. And it's so he has to learn all these things, and he learns that his father is uh giving him the wrong information, and like it's a beautiful episode, and the point where Tigress turns on his master, turns on his father, and you see everything everything explode. And then I thought the greatest shot was where Tigress is like he's holding his father, he's taking him out of the ruins, because even though he knows this man has betrayed him, he's still his father. And it's just, it's a beautiful scene, beautiful scene where Tigress knows to be like I'm not a human being. I will be looked upon as different and a freak among nature. Be like, and be like, what was it that Selena said? Be like, come with us. Be like I have nothing left, and be like, this is the only place I know. And it'd be like he just walks off and you never see him again.
Yeah,
It's just like that's a shame because that's a really, really good character.
yeah. I kind of wish they could have done more with this character somewhere along the way, but unfortunately, they never did. From what I can see. One thing I'm starting to like about this era of Batman the Animated Series is it's kind of moved into a anthology type of storytelling where each episode is and all these episodes have been for the most part standalone unless it's a two-part episode, obviously. But they're all so different from each other. I mean, a couple weeks ago we had the ninja episode. It was very much a martial arts style story.
Agreed.
We had the Riddler episode the other day with the introduced him with the video games, which was a fun little puzzle story.
Wowzers!
Everything just
And
fell
then
down.
Everything fell off Andy's shelf.
Everything just fell down.
Wow.
I'll put them all back up.
You look down for 3 seconds and everything comes.
Yeah, everything just. Yeah. I don't know what
Did the shelf fall off the wall or
No.
just
The pennant fell and knocked everything off.
I think the pennant fell.
okay.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I was not looking at the screen when it happened.
Let's take the pennant down. Animal didn't fall though, so he's still here.
He's an agent.
Waka,
Well,
waka.
he can
Baby
stand there and
animal.
say, "Oh,
Baby animal did, but
Oh yeah, that's baby animal. That's why.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm liking and we had the sci-fi story last week that was very much an Isaac Asimov style
yeah, exactly.
science fiction
Mhm.
story with the robots. And then this week we had a
Dr.
Joker,
Moreau.
a great Joker episode. It was a fun little revenge story. And then now we've got this 30s era sci-fi story with basically aping, pardon the pun since a Kong knockoff was in this, aping on Island of Dr. Moreau. And it's just, in that classic style sci-fi, it was just such an interesting, it's so interesting how they're able to jump back and forth across these different style of stories, and it's still all Batman. I think that's what this episode, that's what this show is so good at. Plus, not to mention, you've got such a big cast. I mean, admittedly, Jim Cummings, he's in a lot of stuff, but he's one of the best voice actors out there. That's why he's hired for so many things.
Agreed.
And we had Adrian Barbeau is playing Selena Kyle in this as Catwoman, and she's doing such a good job. It's just I appreciate what this show is able to do. I'm still surprised how gold this show was as a kid, and I just kind of didn't see it. I watched the show as a kid and loved it, but it was how good this show is. I think as a kid, it was lost on me, but now I am kind of loving every minute of it. And I am enjoying it. So
I have a question for you. You guys do this way more than we do, and you probably might have an answer, or you could get back at me or guess. So Jim Cummings, he's like Rushmore of voices type guy. Like he might not
he's
be
one
on
of
your
the,
mountain.
he's not quite as prolific as Frank Welker.
True.
Right. A lot of stuff. And like the big names that have 1,000 voices are technically still above him, but I mean he's like in so many things.
So again,
in fact, you know the line.
He's on somebody's mountain, is what I meant.
Oh yeah,
like he's a top tier guy.
Give you an idea how good this guy is. You know the movie The Lion King,
right?
You know the song "Be Prepared."
Mm-hmm.
It's for the most part, it's sung by what's his name?
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
Up until he does that yell, it says, "You won't get a sniff without me." When he did that in the recording booth, his voice went out.
Yeah.
And the rest of that song is sung by Jim Cummings.
Yeah.
He was able to voice match Jeremy Irons perfectly for the rest of that song.
Yeah. So if you go back and watch that scene, which is a fantastic scene.
Oh yeah.
And
there's only a slight difference in his voice.
Slight difference, but when you know it, you know it.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't know it before I learned that.
My question is this: so something like Batman the Animated Series, you're going to have lots and lots of episodes. Do you have a guy like this on retainer, or are you paying him every time he speaks? Because it seems to me like it seems like this, like, oh yeah, he's going to be great, but there's other guys out there that you could have probably saved some nickels on and still got. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
why
reoccurring these characters probably are on contract, like Mark Hamill is the Joker.
Now that makes sense because that's like ongoing, but like you just told me he did like 4 different parts, so he did Garth. Like, what are they paying him to do Garth? You know what I'm saying? That guy had like just a few blips.
Well, more than likely he recorded both parts the same day too.
Probably,
but I feel like you could have got the mop guy to do that part instead of paying. You know what I'm saying? Paying Jim Cummings to do Garth.
Yes, but if you've already got Jim Cummings in the studio and he's willing to do it, and he does a good version of it, yeah, go ahead and use him because he can do a lot of.
I was just wondering if like it's like every voice, it's like, oh, here's another couple $1,000s or whatever. Like,
I don't
or
know
if it was just like, hey, you're helping us out. Hey, I'll do this voice. I'll knock that out for you.
I don't know the number that they pay them, but I do know that Jim Cummings, hey, he's been doing it a long time. He's willing to pretty much do whatever you do. He's probably in and out. He's in and out of Disney. He's in and out of Warner Brothers. He's in and out of pretty much every recording studio he can to do as many roles as he can.
And also the fact that like Jim Cummings at this point in 1993 was already
he was already neck deep in Darkwing Duck at this point.
That's true.
So like he already was the competition.
But also at the same time, he was already a veteran voice actor at this point, doing Disney, doing Warner Brothers. Be like, literally, they would like, oh, who can we do to do this voice? Oh, we can call Jim. Oh, we can call whoever.
I guess what my question is not that they couldn't call Jim, but it feels like they could have said, "Hey, we've got 2 lines. Can you do it and save us 50 grand? Because I don't want to pay Jim to do Garth." That kind of.
I mean, in order to
Could.
get so many voice actors, sometimes you're going to have to double up. And it is cheaper to go ahead and if you've got Jim Cummings in there or somebody who can do multiple voices and it sound different, it's going to be cheaper to do that instead of going out and hiring another person because they probably didn't pay him that much extra to do Garth.
Probably not.
In all honesty,
Yeah, but oh my gosh, be like, yeah, Jim Cummings right now at that moment, like he's doing Darkwing Duck. He's doing
Mhm.
like every cartoon there is at that moment. Because he would do like the small background characters, or one I just recently learned in the movie Hook. Be like, you hear the yo ho, yo, that song they sing in the middle of it.
yeah.
Be like, you hear the yo ho, that's Jim Cummings.
And
Like in every movie in that entire decade, Jim Cummings is
is
involved in
somewhere
some
in it.
capacity.
yeah,
Either he's singing something, he's voicing something, or he's growling or snarling.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it would.
he,
Yeah,
he
was
was
it
a
was it
staple at the time.
was
He
it
still
cheaper
is.
to pay Jim Cummings to play Garth along with Tigress? Yes, but at the same time, Garth had like what 10 lines total, probably.
Yeah,
in
probably
this?
like 10 lines.
I mean, it would be a minor role, and it would probably have been if they'd gotten somebody else, it would have been like you said, the mop guy probably, but some other standard person. But yeah, if you've got Jim Cummings, you use Jim Cummings.
Yeah.
I
I
can
was
tell
just
you
curious.
it's cheaper because you look at something like, say, Star Trek the Animated Series, which is on our docket eventually to do. Nearly the entire voice cast is the original series voice cast, except for like all the extras are all voiced by 2 people. Nichelle Nichols as all the women, and James Doohan as all the men extras. It was cheaper just to pay them to do all those people than to have more actors coming because they're already paying the original series cast more than they wanted to pay them to begin with.
And probably at that point, Jim Cummings was already part of the cast as like a minor voice character. And they probably be like, hey Jim, can you do this voice?
I
Sure.
also wouldn't be surprised if he was on an episode of Tiny Toons that was recording around this time.
Oh yeah, because
And
these
so
are
was
all the
in there
same
for, like,
studios.
all in there on that, and just said, "Oh yeah, we'll do this. You'll play this role for Tiny Toons. You'll play this role for that." Heck, he was probably on X-Men the animated series, which should have also been recording sometime around this.
Probably.
So
Because again, Jim Cummings and other guys like him were Swiss Army knives.
mhm.
Literally, you could throw him into any situation, he could do it.
I'm looking up what he was doing around this time real
Oh
quick.
gosh, be like, good luck with that.
Oh, I can find it. It's not that hard.
Yeah, in 1993, he had probably about like 80 roles he was doing throughout like the different different shows he was doing, like voice wise, character
So
wise.
bear in mind, Jim Cummings is also Winnie the Pooh.
Yes.
And he
And
had like
Tigger.
he had 3 video games come out this time that were Winnie the Pooh. He was
But-
in Tiny Toons Spring
You,
Break.
you guys are like
plays-
proving my
he's
point.
bonkers in
He's a
Bobcat.
busy guy. He's really good, and
Yeah,
it seems like
And he was in Balto. Come on.
yeah.
Yes, he was in Balto.
He
It just
played
seems like
President Bill
unless,
Clinton
like,
in the
Disney
Fantastic
said, "Hey,
Four
look,
animated series.
we're gonna pay you $1 million to do whatever we need from you."
Yeah.
I mean
They
something
probably
like
had
that.
him come in and record just for 2 or 3 days and got a couple roles out of him. And
Yeah,
I don't know.
I feel like that makes
I-
a lot
I-
more sense.
Jim Cummings, more than likely, Jim Cummings did not have to audition for the role of Tigress. They probably sought him out for that.
Yeah, it's like
And then
his-
said,
yeah.
"Oh, while you're here, go ahead and record this extra line. We'll give you like an extra $1 an hour on the recording session, or something."
And plus, Jim Cummings was known for doing his animal voices.
Yeah.
So it just makes more sense that you guy who did the growls and the snarls and the barks that would do
Mhm.
Tigress.
There you go. In
I
that
mean,
in that
even,
in that
uh,
time, Darkwing Duck, Goof Troop, Bonkers. I'm scrolling to Tasmania.
Yes.
He was in a
I'm
lot
not
of
that
stuff at this
big.
time.
Yeah, I'm just Sonic the Hedgehog 93, 94. Aladdin, 94, 95.
Mhm.
Marsupilami, 1993. Yeah, I mean, everything. Raw Tunage, Little Mermaid,
Heck, Kevin Conroy, who voices Batman throughout all
Animaniacs.
these episodes, his first voice on this show is not Batman. It's a random guy driving the blimp.
Yeah, first voice you ever hear is Kevin Conroy.
And he's not even playing Bruce Wayne or Batman. He is playing
hey,
a
this
random
is
blimp
him.
driver. Because it was just easier to have him record that and then move on to the next lines.
Yeah. Or heck, well, like
And see,
Mark
that makes
Hamill.
sense too. Like if it's a guy,
Yeah, Mark Hamill did a couple extra roles too.
if it's a guy who is gonna be here for the duration, but if we're just like calling up a guy and being like, "Hey, let's call up Cummings to do this," I mean, it sounds more like, "Hey, Mark, do this," or "Conroy, do this." But anyways, sorry
more
I
likely he
drugged
was
that
in-
on, but I was just curious because
Yeah.
We forgot
whenever
about
I
his.
hear these guys doing all these voices, then you see some of the smaller ones. It's like, man, I wonder.
We forgot his most prestigious role as Morocco Mole in Two Stupid Dogs.
Oh, I forgot about Two Stupid Dogs.
I love Two Stupid Dogs.
He probably did Morocco Mole on all those Cartoon Network bumpers too.
I'm sure.
And
It's
who knows how many
2 years.
commercials Jim Cummings has done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's not even the most prolific voice actor. Of course, you got Mel Blanc, who did a ton of voices for Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
I
he's
almost don't
probably
count him
he's
because
probably
of Mel
the
Blanc.
one for me. Him and
Here's a
Welker.
Morocco Mole Funko Pop. Wow. I'm going down a rabbit hole here. Sorry.
And you don't forget, and the most prolific voice actor, period, is actually a voice actress, which was June Foray, who is
Bart.
like got tons of voices. When someone interviewed, I think it was Mel Blanc, and there's an interview, someone was interviewing somebody, and they asked if June Foray was the female Mel Blanc. They were correct to say, no. Mel Blanc is the male June Foray. That's how much she's in. She's the original voice of Betty Boop.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's next week. Let me look at what next week's episode is.
Happy Feet.
Episodes are the Batman episode.
Oh,
I know
of
it's
course.
Happy Feet.
Okay. Continue.
Happy Feet.
Moon of the Wolf and Day of the Samurai are our next Batman episode. So we're completing the the Japanese duology. That was unofficial. My understanding is it does bring back the ninja dude from
Yes.
Night of the Ninja. But join us next week for that, along with Happy Feet. Kirk, Andy, tell me about the Rushmore show and whatever else y'all got going on.
Well, we've got we're live every Thursday night, YouTube and Twitch, I think, still, and Facebook, and on all the socials and things like that. But we are in the middle of we do 2 months at a time in a series, and we're in our movies and TV series currently. Last night we just did Rushmore of extreme sports movies. Of
Go
which
vote for Kirk on Instagram right
you
now.
can vote for me because I put Cars as an extreme sports movie. Go do that.
I mean, it is a racing film.
And you could vote for me because I didn't put Cars on.
Yeah, well, the audience here might like Cars, so we'll see. Anyway, yeah, so we did that last night. Next week we settled. Finally, we've got some guests on. We're doing our top 4 sequels that are better than the original.
Oh, wow!
So that's going to be some
gonna
fun
have to
stuff.
Tune in for that one because there's.
I have 3 on my list right now that I know.
Oh yeah, I have about 7. I just got to figure out where I'm going, and then we'll go from there. But
And we're going to talk about a threequels count too. So a sequel doesn't have to just be number 2 in the installment.
So it's just anything following the first one.
Yeah, anything
could be pretty
post.
cool.
The ultimate example of this is that Wrath of Khan is so much better than Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
So
Just
true.
throwing that out there.
So true.
I'm not a Star Trek guy, so I don't. I mean, I'm sure you're right, but it's not going to make my list because I just had never been outside of seeing Patrick Stewart in the '90s and just watching that kind of stuff on the TV show. Yeah, I didn't really ever follow it as much, but there's a lot of great movies that get better.
a few things I wanna roll out because we have you coming on the show soon.
Yes.
Drew and Jacob, you haven't come on the show in a while, and we need you. So
Okay.
here's the
Even if
deal.
I'm not here.
Next week, obviously, we're doing that, but then we're also doing athletes who can act, or I mean, they all can't act, but who can act. Then we're talking about Batman. This is a little segue. Batman movies is in 3 weeks. We're going top 4 Batman movies.
Oh.
Then we're doing training montages. So like, Rocky or,
Mhm.
Armageddon or anything like that. Those training montages. Then we're going to do best childhood games. And then there's 2 weeks we haven't picked a topic yet. And then your week is July 24th.
Mhm.
And bringing on our new Culture Box guy, Nathan Marchand. And we're going to talk something in the kaiju world, but I don't know what yet. So we'll have to figure that topic out. So there you
We'll
go.
have to get
Dallas,
that
this
figured
is
out.
why you should decide to go to camp the same week that I go to camp, right? These things would work themselves out if we would go to camp the same week.
Well, that should happen. That should happen. And I think he should bring children to camp because I'll actually be there. I think
Yeah, we'll be at kids camp together.
kids
Yeah.
camp. I'm going to be with kids camp. So wait, dang. So you're at camp for the Batman episode or for the Cellcast episode? Yep. Cancel y'all's camp and come to my camp.
No.
No. But anyways, I can't go to camp in June, but I'll be there in July. So there it is. And speaking of, Andy, what is camp? Because that might be on his week. No, it's not. It's on Pammy's, huh? Okay. Anyways, I digress. Thanks for having us, guys. You can find us everywhere on the socials. And yeah, every Thursday night, come hang out with us live. Our community is awesome. It's great. And we thank you guys for having us.
Yeah,
Indeed.
thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Great having you
Ernest
on. We-
goes to camp. Bombo says Ernest goes to camp. That's a good reminder. That is a
That's-
great top
that's a good
4
film.
camp movies. Top 4 camp movies. Yeah,
I mean,
Uh-huh.
there's not that many bad Ernest movies.
but
I'm sure
camp movies.
Francisco disagrees, but
Does Francisco not like Ernest either?
I don't know. I just assume if I enjoyed it and had fun with it, Francisco doesn't like it.
Sounds like a thing he would hate. That sounds like a thing he would hate.
If it's silly, I don't think Francisco's into it.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's
So
such
question-
he's such a literal like boom.
Don't
Don't
tell
tell
me
me
what I
what
like.
I like. Yeah, there he is. Such a like. Yeah, if it's silly, we're out. Peace out.
Ernest Scared
so
Stupid got me.
see-
in trouble.
when are y'all doing the Batman episode?
The Batman episode
And
is.
is he available? Can he be on it?
Yeah.
If you want to be on it, yeah. We have June 19th.
Oh, June 19th. That might be cutting a little close, but
Yeah.
maybe a little
It's
close.
a Thursday night. It's always a Thursday night, and so there it is. I like some Ernest. Okay, so retro says he likes some Ernest.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Ernest goes. Ernest Saves Christmas.
that's a classic.
Nice.
What about Ernest Meets the Muppets?
I wish that happened.
I wish we had more time.
Yeah, no.
What about Ernest in Toy Story, which AKA he's just Slinky Dog?
He's Slinky Dog. Yeah.
Just thinking.
Anyway, once again, yeah, thank y'all for joining us on this episode. Join us next week for Happy Feet.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
This is Andy.
This is Kurt.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.
To follow Jacob and Drew's individual internet exploits, check out the Linktree links in the show notes. You can email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter or X at @cast_cell. Follow our Facebook page, The Cellcast Podcast, and join our Facebook group, The Cell Nation, our YouTube channel, Cellcast, and our Rumble channel, The Cellcast Gaming. You can join us every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central for our live recordings of our episodes on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. You can also join Drew on those same streaming channels on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central for gaming streams. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts can be downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. Our bad movie theme is It's Party Time by Gregory Snegoff, with additional audio from the film Titanic: The Legend Goes On. And remember, that's Cell with a single L.
Guys, did you hear that music just now? It was like cabin fever. Ah. You're welcome, Artsy.
Cabin fever. Dum, 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 dum,
We got cabin fever. We got cabin
All right.
fever.
Thank y'all once again for joining us. Let me see if I can find somebody for some people.
Retro Rewind says he doesn't get it.
Raid. Sorry, what?
Francisco says he don't get it.
That's because Francisco didn't watch the movie.
You missed the joke.
Do it.
That is a gnarly guitar. Artsy, thanks for hanging out with us. Come check us out, man. We would love to have you. Who we rate?
I'm gonna throw the Twitch people over to Book of Gaming. Y'all go hang out with him as he's streaming some Ninja Turtles. So thank y'all, and we'll catch y'all later. I should hit the button before I say that.
Yes, hit the button
because I have to wait 10 seconds before I can actually send y'all there. Okay, there we go.